On Monday afternoon here as we trickle to the downside for the overall market still this afternoon. Just watching yields higher across the board once again this afternoon. It's been that kind of a day. It's not a huge move, but across the board, all of them very, very positive on the session, including the USD back to the upside here 3 days in a row for the dollar back above that 103.5 area and holding firmly. For the US dollar, so that's putting a little bit of pressure on the overall market. It's putting a lot of pressure on small caps once again. Go have a look at the Russell right now, down significantly. Some of these high-flying AI-related names, I just brought up SoundHound here, but 7.5%, and that's on a 25-cent bounce off 8. It was down about 9% at the bottom there for SoundHound. Otherwise, big tech still leading the way as far as strength is concerned. 175 holding here as far as Apple goes. 1.4% again off the highs, but pretty green board right across the entire thing. Everything that isn't green basically flat on the session, so really no significant negativity coming through this afternoon. There are a few red names here in the pharmaceutical area. I mean, J&J is only down 0.5%. It looks like a lot more compared to the rest of this board. Apple, NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, all positive. That's about all you need to know as far as the S&P is concerned. We were talking about both Apple and Google to start things off this morning. We were also talking about NVIDIA to start things off this morning. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we'll get the keynote speech at, yeah, I saw one note during lunchtime that I was reading that was essentially, oh, this was it. Yeah, AI Woodstock. This GTC 2024, NVIDIA's AI conference, is now known as AI Woodstock. That didn't take long. But a lot of analysts talking very positively as to what to expect coming up this afternoon. Then remember, it's 3 days in a row going into the rest of the week here. So a lot of announcements, a lot of positivity around this, including from, yeah, you guessed it, Dan Ives writing this note that I was just finishing up here. But back to basically where we ended on Friday for NVIDIA right now, trying to hold on to positive territory. Google and this one, Apple, were top of the list this morning on the rundown. If you're with us in the pre-market, Google talking to Apple and Apple talking to Google on maybe incorporating Gemini as their AI feature into iPhones going forward. I was reading a little bit about how much they pay for search, and it's in the billions. How much Google pays Apple for search to make Google their default search engine on iPhones, and it's billions. So this would be on top of that, obviously, but still a pretty good day here, guys, for Apple.
Oh, man. We're just like trading everything right now. I've been hitting keys like crazy here with AMD as we go short. 192 as it's coming in. We're $3 in the money right now on NVIDIA as well. We did get stopped out there when it broke through 885, but we take the short again right there at the 200 period. We switched up our plan, as you guys know, in the midday show to go short, and it's paying off right now as we come back into 882, a $3 winner right now on this name. But yeah, all right, so we actually just got stopped out on Google, which was a little bit silly. Broke through 148. It finally hits that bottom. We were buying longs all day, and it was pretty good, right? So, of course, you're buying longs, but nice move up. Now we'll wait till Google to hold that. I have not been into Apple, but Apple's super strong, man. They're going to have those AR glasses and everything. I'm excited for what's to come with Apple. So, yeah, I think those are the two good names here, long, but I'm in AMD and NVIDIA short right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Google as well, so I'm not going to rehash that. But Apple 175 might be a thing. It was pretty solid off of VWAP earlier.
Down.
You know, what if yeah, whatever. 176.5 was VWAP, and it was pulling right into that high multiple times. So we grabbed those longs, was in the 75 long once, and got out, but you're seeing it just hold on like an absolute charm. I could see us back at VWAP. If the market's making a base here and gets back to 18.3, Apple can do something about it and get off this 175 level into VWAP. So the longer we hold this consolidation, the more I'll like it. You'll see I am actually the only long position I have right now is IBIT. And oh wait, we'll get to that one a little bit later when we rock through the list there. But Apple barcoding right now off 175, up 1.5%. I do think this makes some sense if this market is trying to bottom out. Apple is very slightly better than the NASDAQ. So despite being underneath VWAP, it is having a good day. And I like that consolidation that we're seeing right now. Is apparently GoEV still going. If you just went long in the weed stocks. Not that I would have started going long weed stocks and Go EV, but if you had...
weed stock?
No, just Go. If you had taken Go EV and the weed stocks, like after like that opening rush of everything was done, if you bought the dips on those instead of buying the dips on all the stuff that seemed like it was good, you'd have made more money. Because buying the dip pretty much everywhere else after the opening rush wasn't that great. But if you did it on Go EV, perfectly fine. If you did it on any cannabis name, look at that, you buy the dip after the opening rush, you're absolutely laughing. Meanwhile, like other things like Alphabet, which actually had great news, I mean, it's been trending down the whole way. Like I'm just being tongue-in-cheek about it because it's the quality names that didn't end up holding up when they gapped up today.
All right, thoughts on NVIDIA here. We're back to, as I mentioned, basically where we ended the day. On Friday, we give back the nice gap, the nice move through to 920. It's been downside ever since. Again, ahead of, I don't know if you were around for this, but AI Woodstock.
Huh?
This conference is now called AI Woodstock, coming up over the next few days.
I can believe that, right? I mean, NVIDIA is the king, and while AI is the focus, so we'll have to watch. But guys, today, less than 2 hours till Jensen Huang takes the mic at the NVIDIA conference. He's got the keynote there. I'll be listening for two things. I want to know the successor to the H100. It's widely anticipated they're going to be releasing something called the B100. So keep your eye out for that. And the updates to the CUA, the CUDA software, which comes with the H100. Very important as well. It's an ecosystem, and updates expected on both, Brendo.
Yeah, I was reading on the weekend, there was a couple of people, rumblings anyways, that was like 2026 for the B series. So yeah, we'll see if we hear anything about that coming up today.
So in
NVIDIA.
all last week, I said basically the same thing. Like every single time I've taken like a flat top break on NVIDIA or a, some double or triple top breakout into higher lows, like some kind of an obvious breakout setup, it has not lost. It hasn't lost in a week and a half. And today, if I just only done that, it would have been absolutely fine because it gave you another clean break. It was a 905 break. It got all the way to 14 and a half. I got out, I took some out in front of 909. And then took the rest out in front of like 914. It was like very, very quick, $9. It goes further than that, but fair enough. And then I proceeded to do a bunch of things that are not that, like buying dips and then playing like reversal trades. And then my all-time favorite, which to me, I never want to be doing this, where it's like short, get out short again kind of thing. Not on NVIDIA. I want to do that in stock. Like in Intel, sometimes that'll make some sense, but not happy with it. So give back what we made today, not all last week, half of what we made on Friday. And it's frustrating because if I just stick to the plan, I make one trade and then do nothing else in this stock. All that said, NVIDIA, if you look at it on a 15-minute, let's zoom it out here. That's zooming out too far. If you look at it, it's still got that double bottom higher low from last week underneath it at 860. Even with this downward push, it does have some support under it. The things that I'm short right now, actually we'll get to Micron specifically, so I'll leave that one till the end. But Intel got to the top of the range, had some shorts on it, had been shorting it ever since, including this lower high at 42.80. So just went into the trend short in Intel. After like a messy morning with it, it got a lot cleaner once it broke 43 even. So I'll be staying short this one as long as it holds this lower high at about 43.85 on Intel.
Oh man.
But frustrating. If I just stuck to the breakout trades, like they're there all the time on NVIDIA. It is what it is. The conference is on, but we don't hear anything until 4 o'clock. So, I don't think we said this in the morning, be able to tune into the market recap show. It might not be a massive earnings week. We do get a couple of interest, Micron, of course, this week, but you're going to see some possible price movement on NVIDIA, not because of earnings, but because of this, what are they calling it, a GT something? GTC conference.
Yeah,
there you go.
GTC.
So Jensen will come out. Sean will give it to you live, and we'll see some price action for sure. Oh, before I finish, one last thing. SMCI crapped all over itself today. There, just so we talk about SMCI too, people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about it.
That's all I was going to say. It died today.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We just had NVIDIA drop all the way to 879 for us. So we were in the money like $6, and then it just ripped up. This is a small piece, or else we would have got out of it. We were, well, very small. We were in AMD as well. Like, look at some of these outs when AMD dropped down into the 200 period for eventually breaking out. So now we're starting to get going on some of these chip names back up to the upside. So we're in the money still $1, trying to get a little bit more short, but again, you're just back to the 200 period. Let's see what happens here with NVIDIA back at these levels. So here we go. Nice little move back up to the upside. We're going to have to get stopped out if it breaks too much higher than where we are right now. Back into the 200 period on what looks like it wants to get going here again for NVIDIA. We were long first and then short. That's 890 maybe there. Is that too high up? 880, 886 right now? Yeah, we're coming right into 890 here. Watch out. We last went short here at 888. So starting to get a little spicy here to the upside. We are short 885.75.
Upside, Tesla upside right now as well, trying to get back to day highs here, testing, or trying to test anyways. 174 coming back into play if you missed it this morning. Price hikes coming through for the Model Y in a couple of instances. We didn't even get into this gap really this morning on that sell-off initially. Here we are right back to day high 6.25%. I mean, if you zoom out a little bit, much needed bounce on the daily chart coming in for Tesla.
Yeah, the market likes price increases, Breno. Not necessarily price cuts, but price increases. So Model Y in the United States going to go up by $1,000 come April 1st in Europe. Much the same thing, but €2,000 price increase on the Model Y starting March 22nd. It's a good look for them here as margins have been getting squeezed. A lot of capex as well as they build out those new gigafactories, Brendo.
I feel like AI Woodstock is more an Elon thing than an NVIDIA thing.
A little bit.
I want to hear more about Grok from Elon, but yeah, great day here, guys.
We were just sort of saying.
Elon's releasing Grok something, I thought now.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. We'll find out when that is.
No, but it was more along the lines like April 1st. I guess it's not a big deal in Europe, but like if you're in North America, like I know it's a Europe thing, but like if you're doing something in North America which is big, and there's going to be press releases and they're legitimate, actual changes like a big price raise, it's like you wouldn't do it on April 1st because then all of the, like is it a joke? Are you serious? All that stuff. I guess they don't care in Europe, probably. We'll probably mess around with you guys on April 1st. I don't have anything planned, but we'll get you somehow.
We'll figure that
I promise
out.
that. So the April Fool's joke came early for me on Tesla, and this is an important lesson here. I was already going to do the whole like contrarian sort of play, like when everyone zigs, zag is the lesson of the day. However, I was very close to doing it on Tesla because there's something to be said about having a direction and a price area correct and an execution plan being wrong. Like to make a trade, you need every aspect of it to work. You need to have a reason you're looking at the stock, you need to have a direction, you need to have an entry and an exit. So I had the price that I was interested correct in some ways at 172 on Tesla. I had the direction right in terms of looking for a long off of that level. But my execution plan, I mean, to be honest with you, like my execution plan was basically like the Dallas Cowboys plan going into the offseason this year, which is to say it stunk. And I was only really looking for breakouts off of 172. I wasn't willing to kind of make any other nuanced trade, which would have been take a consolidation long off that level, which would have worked nicely, take a consolidation above it, take a dip buy back into it, which I'm going to do now, off the 172. And you say, why 172 on Tesla? Okay, well, we're not making this one up. There is support to resistance, and then right back, barely like resistance right there, and then back into a support level. So I like that in terms of finding a reversal trade, but just didn't do it right today on Tesla. So I'll slap the fail on myself. Again, a trading plan requires not just saying long 172, you also have to have a plan of action for a setup that works for you. The dip buy looks fantastic now, but it also might just be a clean breakout above 175. So shout out to you, Tesla, 6%, loving it. And if this is the bottom, it never actually got to 150. So if we have a temporary bottom, this never made it to the bottom of the channel on Tesla, which has been a trend line for a while now. That would be a good thing for the bulls, but I thought we were getting into the 150s for a dip buy.
Oh, man. All right, finally. We just get 884. 880. No, we got 883. 883.60 there. Came right into the 200 period. So a couple good shorts here after getting hit on that take right there. A couple good shorts coming through now for NVIDIA as we'll wait to hold it all the way back down and see if we can get this name to go one more time here with NVIDIA. So nice move downside. We are now $2 in the money. It's the only position we have on. We'll see if we can get NVIDIA lower than this 878 level. I think our next bid should be in and around here, 878. So let's just put a bid there. That little wick down is 879 and change. change. Let's see if we take that, then get back into 878. Let's bid 878. I mean, right now we're $3. Like we're $3 in the money right now. So we could take this. I mean, this is a reloaded position. Let's just see what happens here for NVIDIA. Let's see about some downside push. Our stop is still up here, 888. So we'll have to see if that comes through or not. But for right now, it's a nice downside move, and we just take some money back there on NVIDIA. So, oh man, this is, I might not even be in the right chat here. But shout out to everybody as we go. 883.30 here to the downside.
Yeah, you're in the right one.
Am I okay? Tesla. I didn't trade it today, but I'm just focusing right now on some of these chip names.
All day long in some of these Chinese EV makers, including XPeng. On a positive note, this morning was up big time, almost 1050 coming into play here. It's been straight down ever since. We're trying to hold below 990 right now. Yeah, it's still positive on the day. Didn't give it all back, but it's been pretty negative. You were just mentioning your favorite stock. Li Auto down, what was it, 12% today?
12.25%, Brendo, on this. Maybe they build a cheaper car, maybe they don't. We haven't gotten any details. Yeah, in case you're wondering, XPeng up because they promised a new type of EV, one in the range between 100,000 to 150,000 yuan. That's about $14,000 to $21,000. No time, no details, but you know, the market liking what they hear and the other EV selling off.
That's crazy cheap if they can actually do that. Like, what was it, 14 to 21,000 US?
Yeah, US.
Won't be allowed.
I mean, look, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the bad news there, I think, was for their competition, and I think that was what you saw borne out with Li Auto. Like, Li Auto got absolutely smashed. The only thing that would have been interesting for me on XPeng would have been, could it hold the $10 level, which it flat out didn't. And we've been talking about this, I feel like at least for the last couple of years, when the Chinese EV names gap up, I don't know why we're not, usually I'll be like, oh, if I'm gonna go with the news, it's gotta show me a dip buy off a level that I like, where's your bounce to 10? If anything, it was like a reversal to a short off of the 10 level, and it just doesn't hold those highs. Probably just worth shorting these, to be honest with you. But I think the easier play would have been, okay, well, Li Auto was down on it. So if you, whoops, why is that still XPeng? Like, Li Auto was already down on that news. And then when it opened up, it just flushed and just continued to flush. Like, look at the consolidation, then flat bottom break here at 34 on Li Auto. And if you see what happens when it broke the flat bottom, it then turns right into immediate resistance at a breakdown zone. So I think that was probably the play, like, was to just ignore everything that happened in XPeng, see the direction in Li Auto, and roll with it to the downside. Now you're at the 50 period, so I mean, I guess it's for Li Auto, down 12.
Oh, okay.
Down 12%. Right? Because if XPeng couldn't hold on to the gains and Li Auto was down when Neo and XPeng were up, you really could have just shorted every reasonable opportunity. When I look at this chart, like, any reasonable shorting opportunity was actually good. Short to the pre-market high, short the breakdown, short the first available pop, short this consolidation area, short the breakdown, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Like, that's what a trending stock looks like. Should have been trading Li Auto today, apparently.
Oh, man. Yeah, love trending stocks. We could look at NIO. I mean, I haven't looked at any of these names today. I'm not even going to lie.
I should have mentioned something about Fisker, but
I haven't looked at Li Auto, Fisker. Well, Fisker we had, and it broke 15, so we're out of that one. But that was nothing.
Maybe you should still be in it.
Was just doing nothing.
Just very quickly, I'm only because I probably will not say anything. I was short Fisker in the pre-market and lost, and that was a wick high. I was shorted again in the pre-market and wicked the high, and then that was the only good short. It flat bottom broke 15 after 4 hours of 15 at the bottom. I shorted the break at 15, and it's done literally nothing. It's still at like 15.05. So at some point, maybe it does flush, but look at that support at the 15-cent level for Fisker. You would expect if something holds a level all day long and then breaks it in the afternoon, it would at least go a cent, but not you, Fisker.
No, Fisker's not doing too much there. Let's see what happens with that name. Just another degen name down there, obviously. But NIO here, as I learned that from the podcast, we call Redditors degens, right, Fabian? Okay, good. He says yes, so I don't get in trouble on that one. They call themselves that, apparently. That's what he said. But right here, 520 break on NEO. That's what we're going to look for to the downside. I want to thank everybody for watching the podcast. Make sure you go check it out if you have not. All right, so we got some out of NVIDIA here, obviously, as it just bounced right there. We talked about getting out at 883.50 off of the short that we have now, 886. So that's $2.50, but now it's starting to come back up to the upside. So watch out now. We're above everything right now in the market. The only real level is VWAP, which is still a ways to go. So we're just going to play off some of these tops that we've seen here. That's like 890. So I feel like 890 is cool, man. If this goes back upside, we'll short in front of 890, but we're not going to give it too much more love after that. So for right now, this is what we're doing with NVIDIA. My bid is 875. So
let's go to Micron trying to bounce here as well, along with most of these. 94 was a big time level on Friday. On the other side of things, the resistance side of things over here. So we're trying to bounce off that. Right now, a couple of positive notes this morning from analysts, still up 1% here.
Yeah, and with the AI conference for NVIDIA being on tap for today and tomorrow until Thursday, I want to hear anything that they have to say with respect to Micron. We know Micron's been including their DRAM chips with the NVIDIA H100 and H800 as well. So as Brenda was saying, we got a couple of price target increases today, both from Barclays and Cantor Fitzgerald, both with a $120 price target, but midday, Rosenblatt want to get on the action too. They increased their price target on Micron to $140.
One that we will talk with, I'm sure, Danielle Shea's coming up here in about 40 minutes. We'll get her opinion on earnings, guys, coming up on Wednesday for MU.
Bye-bye, NVIDIA.
They're the big one.
Yeah, they're this week.
They're the only, well, maybe there's something else.
I only traded Micron to the long side. It was a sticky no name. I thought it was going to be good news for them with all the upgrades today, but it's only gone down. Really, there's been no bump. We were able to get out of this long when we bumped through there, but then we tried it one more time at 94 before eventually slipping through 94 and getting out. That bottom is 93.75. I'm flipping over to short now.
Oh, Lulu.
So I'm going to short here, 94.40. Right there. If we can get that short, we're down with that. $2 in the money, NVIDIA. But yeah, losing trade right there for sure on Micron for me. My biggest loser of the day is that. It was NVIDIA because we kept on getting, destroyed. Well, again, I'll talk about all that later. But right now, we're going to go short Micron. We are short NVIDIA. I really like this here. In the 200 and that bottom right there. So that's 94.50. We'll wait for that to come through for Micron, but I don't know, man. Maybe NVIDIA doesn't want to go down. We're just sitting here. I feel like I want to trade names that are like moving around and doing a lot. 50 million shares on a $900 name is quite a lot. So we'll wait to see here what happens with the rest of the day and NVIDIA. I'm going to hold short until it breaks above 890.
Yeah, I'm thinking short on Micron as well. I was actually just in a short off of the 94 level. The longs didn't work off 95, that previous support. Went 2 for 4 there. Actually, no, 2 for 5 going long. And then the last one, that should have been a signal to reverse because look at it pull back off VWAP and reject that same 95 level. Now lower highs in the previous support, that'd be 94.5. There was a great consolidation down here at 94. While the futures were trying to bounce. That's sort of the key. Like it was just going sideways off that 94 level while the futures were trying to bounce. It got into the lows at 75 and then came back in for a reload. I'm thinking short here. Like if it gets back into the mids, that would be an entry. Or maybe it's just back down underneath 94. The way I see it, when you get a rejection like that on positive news, it doesn't want to continue. It gaps up and then only falls. At some point you give up. Like that's to me selling on good news. Like I know it's still up 1%, but for all intents and purposes, like Micron sold on the news today, and I never want to see that happening. Like you want to see a stock go up when it has positive news, and you can't convince me. We got the upgrade. It's been on a great upward trend. It just bounced off the $90 level after a bit of a reversal. It looked like it could have been the start of something. Unfortunately, the other direction, Micron, and I'm already in Intel, so I think we already talked about this. Probably doubling up here. But Intel off this 42.85. We're shorting it all morning. And then the better shorts was, just wait for it to actually break down and then short the pop, which was a safer way to go about it. So we're getting some back here on Intel. Oh, we should talk about Bitcoin. Because remember how I've been saying on IBIT, Neil? IBTC. That's what I'm thinking GBTC in my head.
Yeah.
As I'm typing IBIT, I just put IB. Oh, goodness. IBIT. waited for one setup and one setup alone. Wick the bottom, go long. And I would have done it if it was wick the top, go short. We've done this trade a couple of times on IBIT. Wick the bottom, go long. I've been holding out for a break of VWAP to get up here, and I'm now trailing this to 38.20. And I don't know if we get a similar setup like this afternoon, because like it would be the same wick bottom. But if I see that happen on IBIT where it goes trend down, big move down or big move up into a double bottom or a triple bottom or a double top or a triple top, and there's that reversal, it's like punch back long through 38 and then just go stop at the local bottom. And then hold it at least to VWAP, try to hold some for the dream. Probably missed a reload in there. But I'm liking this setup, and the fact that we can trade this now on the ETF is great because it just looks like a regular stock. Like, I'm not even paying too much attention. I'll pay more attention if it's a key level, like a 70,000, but I'm more concerned with it just being the high of the day or the low of the day, and then look for the trend reversal. But it has to show me that wick and then quick reverse. Jump into it. I've seen that work multiple times, only taken it twice in the last week, even though we've seen it 5 or 6 times.
We started the discussion today on pullbacks, guys, and we're going to continue that all week long. Tomorrow is my favorite, support and resistance pullbacks. Make sure to hang out with Adair and I tomorrow on How to Trade at 11.
Is my favorite as well. All right, so make sure you join Sharif there tomorrow as he's going over all that stuff with Adara. Learn to trade in the midday. All right, so I need to learn to trade a little bit here too, because we're just shorting here, got out for nice little profit, but then we spiked right back to the upside. The thing is, we may have to change our tune a little bit here because the NASDAQ is now breaking back above VWAP. The reason why we're short right now is we talked about 18.3 being a pretty key level. We talked about that earlier this morning. Look what happened when we broke it and then held it. Nice move to the downside, almost 60, 70 handles before bouncing. Now you're starting to get back up to the upside. So we'll try NVIDIA one more time up here. You know, remember, Jensen's not speaking until 8, till 8. I'm looking at the price here. I was gonna say till 8.90, until 4 o'clock.
Imagine he did that.
So we'll have to wait. But I mean, as you get closer and closer, you're only an hour and a half away now. Maybe we're starting to go. I mean, he's gonna preach the Bible of NVIDIA. So, and that's one that is highly followed.
It is.
So we'll have to wait to see if it can get going here, back into the downside a little bit before he comes up. But we're gonna watch out for 891. We talked about that this would kind of be the last straw right here at 889 and change. So if that breaks, obviously run to 890. Then we'll play it a little bit higher than that. You got to give yourselves a couple stops here, and you know, I think $4. We've been taking enough winners on this to sort of justify that. But this last winner that we had was just right here, 886, and our best out is 883.50. So about 250. So here we come, right back in. Hey, I'm bidding 880. What's up with that? All right, well, I thought I was bidding down here, but we're not. Okay, so we did not get an 889 short. I thought we were waiting there. We were waiting for 889.50, so it actually did not get that high. So my bad. All right, we'll wait for more.
This is going to be a little bit off topic.
Maybe AMD.
But remember when you were like, oh, is there any questions for Brennan in the podcast? I thought of a format for a question.
Yeah.
So it would be along the lines of this. So you pick like a number, like say, we always talk about like, if you had to invest like 10 grand, because 10 grand seems to be a number. So then you take that as the base. And then I say, okay, I'm going to give you have to invest either 10,000 in, let's just say,
something like that, didn't I?
No, in Nvidia.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, no, it should be 10,000 in SMCI.
Okay.
It's got to be the risky one at these prices. Yeah. Or 50,000 in Nvidia, and then I'm supposed to then pick something where it's like ridiculous and something else. So the notion being like the bigger and safer play, you got to be able to put more in, or are you willing to roll the dice on a name which you know less about, like an SMCI?
Yeah.
And so like I was thinking of this in terms of Nvidia and SMCI, but the more interesting one would be, would you rather do it's like if you had to put an amount into BTC on the next dip, let's call it like, would you be willing to put, I don't know, like 100,000 in Bitcoin, or you've got to roll 20,000 in MSTR, and you got to believe it in for 1 month, let's just say. So I'm talking about a short-term play.
Right,
and you have to either put a small amount in the most ridiculously volatile. Obviously, MSTR in a pullback is not going to pull back
so
anywhere near what Bitcoin is going to do. It's down 13% today. The stock is a triple up if you just look at it from like February. But would you be willing to leverage on MSTR for a month, or would you just put the safe money on Bitcoin?
Yeah, we talked about. Yeah, I think those are good. Those are good questions. We'll. I forget the one that I asked him. I asked him something around there about leverage or something like that.
No, it was.
But anyways, okay, yeah, those are good questions. We are going to take more suggestions from the podcast. So if you guys have anything you want to talk to us about, lay it down for us. Make the comments or all that. There it is. Here, I'll do it right here.
SMCI.
SMCI. Yeah, what was about it?
That got smoked, by the way, today.
How about asking who's more afraid in NVIDIA, bears or bulls? Yeah, that's not a bad.
Always.
I thought you were talking about bears versus.
I
bulls.
think
Shout
always
out
the
to
bears.
bulls.
In a long-term sense?
I guess so. I know the same Clean Daddy was talking about. That's a good question. Though we could always do more and more of that. So we will. All right. So 885. We just went short again. Our average price here is. I don't mean to switch topics, but we will do all that kind of stuff.
Still on the same topic.
886. Yeah, we still are on the same topic. I'm just trying to get out right now of some of this. So if this drops back down into 886, let's take a little bit out. But you can see you are really starting to bounce higher now on Nvidia. We've talked about our stopping spot would be pretty close to where we are right now. But here's a nice little pullback down. We're only short at 887. So if you are, like someone just said, if you're a bear or a bull and you are nervous about what's happening here, we have Jensen coming at 4. So an hour and a half from now, 1 p.m. Pacific. So we did clarify that. Thanks to Sharif for clarifying that earlier. So it is 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have it on the recap show, but here we go. If this can get down in, now we are now in the money now on Nvidia. So good little reload up there. It's not a reload, sorry. These are averages in. They're worse. Generally, you want to reload because that means your clip is empty, or at least partially empty, and you're going to reload it to get to battle. Right now, the only thing that's having a battle right now is NVIDIA punching me in my face for this short temporarily. We will see, man. We'll get those brass knuckles out and fight back, and we're doing that right now, but we still have some bids out. Let's sort of see if we can recover after this, and we'll figure out if we can get this 886 bid. That's where we're bidding right now. Then after that, I'm sitting right here at the 50 period. We're just going to follow our rules. Like, I'm not trying to trade out of this for any reason. It's just, we got to take some profits. We're short at 887. Our out's going to be 891. We talked about $4. Most of my bids are here, are lower than this. But if we can get a quick dollar on that spot, let's do that. Take away some risk. That way, if we do fall back in, then we'll be able to ring that register. It's similar stuff that we were doing up here, like when we had these trades before. So we were short 890. I mean, that's right there is an 877 out. We have $13. We talked about that in the midday show. So it was a good trade for us. It did go $16 or $17 in the money. Then we reloaded and took it out there. Short again, and now we're back short. But I'm not really loving this trade. I mean, we're too much in the danger zone now. Like, I need this to fall
Everything's
down.
in the danger zone.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know. I just went short Coinbase. That's why I feel.
Coinbase is a danger zone trade too, because
Look at the reversal on
it's
it.
been super spicy today.
So here's the thing. I like the level. There's no question about that. Like, if you look at 240, and we were even saying this morning, like short above 240 was absolute gold. So the resistance is on point with Coinbase. And then, I'm like, oh, the round off top, shorted in front of 240 and a half or 241, give it $1 or whatever it is. But then you look at the rejection that this thing just made. Like, it rejected this 234 bottom. I know it's down 1%. That's a kind of, it either works, and this is the curl down, retesting 236. But if it breaks out the top, don't do anything till 245 is what I'm telling myself. Like, I don't want to be shorting this a second time unless it's back underneath 240 or it's at that 245 level. And apparently Cling Daddy was talking about the intraday and not the long term. Because I feel as if it's always too easy of a question. Like, which direction are people most afraid, like long or short? But if you're looking at a long-term chart like this, like, it's hard to say anything except for the shorts are more concerned up here because they're the ones that are under more pressure. It's a little more fun when you look at it from the intraday. So Nvidia's moving. Fisker is the most ridiculous flat bottom break that I've ever seen because it's doing absolutely nothing. Apple, all of a sudden, oh, no, it wasn't Apple. It was Amazon at 175 I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it wasn't Apple. Amazon, load. This, Amazon hasn't really looked very good today. I mean, I know a lot of things have fallen, but okay, drop, nowhere near VWAP, lower high still being put in, now a double top-ish at 175. I think,
right,
as I
here
say
we
that,
go.
it's like, why not just be in it? See, if I had just taken the 90s and then started talking about it, it's already down 80s. I'm just gonna see if I can't get filled up in the high 80s or the 90s here on Amazon, as this, while making a bottom, looks a little bit weak.
Oh,
Whatever, don't chase. Don't chase. And someone wanted you to do the reloaded and saying, because they love Godfather, but I had to make the correction. It is Carlito's Way. It's still Al Pacino. It's still just an absolutely fantastic gangster film. But
It's the wrong
it is.
film.
Carlito's Way is maybe one of the 3 most underrated gangster films ever made, including the original Scarface. The original Scarface I would include in that as well. It's like an old black and white.
Scarface, yeah.
Like it's obviously not
down
the
now,
same
you
as
son of
Al
a-
Pacino, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh man, did you guys see Al Pacino at the Oscars? That guy gave 2 Fs about anything that anybody wanted.
awesome,
there.
man.
The guy just walks on stage,
awesome.
says his little speech. He doesn't. Did you see it or no?
No, not live. I don't watch it live.
But did you watch
I watched like the
any
YouTube.
thing?
I basically watched like
Yeah, he just goes out there and he goes, all right,
Recaps.
blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm Al Pacino. This is great, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's see what we see here when we open this up. All right, Oppenheimer. He didn't even, it was just like, all right, I have the envelope here. Hey, what's up? I'm Al Pacino.
But how
This
many
is the-
guys can even get away with that right now? 4 or 5?
I don't think they're going to let these guys do that
but,
anymore.
But him, De Niro could get
No,
away.
no,
could do that
lots
if
of
he
guys
wanted
can get
to,
away
like-
with it. I just mean it's like anybody. I just feel it's
No, without
so
hate.
Oh, wow, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's some people were hating on that, but yeah, you're right. De Niro, but Al Pacino does not look good. I mean, I don't know. You know,
He's not a
he's
young
old.
guy.
These guys are old. But
He's not a young guy.
That was so. I was watching it. And I was just like, all right, here we go, here we go. And he just goes, oh, and I'm going to open up this envelope and see what I see. I see Oppenheimer. And then that was it. And then they played the music. The people from Oppenheimer like looked around and then they walked on stage and they're like, great. All right. But anyways, all right. So we did get one little move down here. So we just got an 888.30 fill right there. Believe it or not. I mean, you know, that's a believe it or not. George isn't at home. I think it was a Darrow. Was it? Oh no, it wasn't these guys. It was something else. I was listening to that.
Up the phone.
Oh no, I think it was us that were talking about. Were we talking about this last week? Anyways.
Believe it or not, I'm not.
Yeah, believe it or not, George is not short Nvidia right now, because if he was, he'd be probably screaming right now. But
George would be the worst trader of all time because he'd get out of every trade the second he got into it.
I was just gonna say, be like Sharif there. He's panicking. He's panicking. I'm panicking. What
You know who would actually, who has a temperament to be a good trader? This is
Kramer.
weird. No, I was gonna say Kramer.
Yeah, because he's more like off the wall. Yeah.
No, but like if you look at his endeavors and like his schemes and his plans, like okay, fine, they're all like ridiculous, but he actually has like, hey, this is what I'm gonna try.
You need that.
And this is, you know, like there's an actual like method behind it. He just kind of goes for it, right? So it's like, this is the plan and I'm just gonna do it. And logic be damned, this is the entry and this is the exit. I think he'd be a good trader. The rest of the cast, I don't know about Jerry. Jerry's really tough to figure out there, but
as a trader, yeah, we
no,
should
like
think
it's,
about
but it's
that.
easy to say George would not work, and that Kramer temperamentally makes a lot of sense for a positive trader. Putty. That's Ty's just asking what about Putty.
Yeah, I think
feel
Putty would
he's-
be shut down immediately.
But there's no in between for him. I think it's like he's so like he'd either just be okay, everything would be fine, and it would work for him, or he'd just sit there and never get out of trades that are going against him and all that kind of stuff as well. So I don't know. It's easy to read the others. Newman, just no. He's a fail.
Newman.
Like they basically wrote the character as, you know, he's not supposed to succeed at anything. I think it's difficult to.
Well, when that's your character, yeah, you may not succeed. Okay, so here we go right now. Okay, here we go. Come on, NVIDIA. Just print lower for once in your life. It's been lower for the last 5 days, by the way, to end the day. We'll see if we can do that again today. Look at this. We just reloaded it and got out again. But all I'm doing is fighting the good fight, but it's like it's not going to end well. Like, I don't know how to properly word that, but it's just like, it's just going up. We just keep getting out little by little here, saving some of the bad decisions of shorting. So we can really get paid off. I mean, if this comes down, we will. And we will get paid pretty nicely here if it does flush. But I hate saying, there it goes, okay? I do hate saying ifs and buts because, like many of us know, those are often candies and nuts. But okay, we'll take another bid here. This is the problem when I look at stuff. It's like, okay, where am I getting out when I should probably be holding on for a much bigger winner? So we'll see if it can come out here. We're bidding 888.20s. There it is, flush down. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hopefully we can get out of this one. It just flushed to 887. So now we have another $2 winner on. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, honestly, I don't know what else I can do other than like try to wait for this thing to flush down, try to take good bids. That last bid at 887.50 or 888.50, bad bid, because it just flushed into 887.20. We'll see if we could bid that and get that out if we get one more little flush down here on NVIDIA. Like I have, there it is. Did we just get that, Phil? Bang. That's the kind of $2 that we're talking about right now on NVIDIA. So let's go, man. Let's put this back into our pocket, and now let's go. Here it is, 885. That's the 50-period moving average. We'll see if we could take $5 all the way down there on NVIDIA, then hold the rest. For it was a dream, but we'll see what happens right now. 885.50. You guys might seem, this might be some little bit of reckless trading. You might find out. And after this trade, this might not be true. But this month has been like such a crazy roller coaster. We talked about some black swans to the guy on my right here. And then even for me, it's a lot differently. Is it still on the right on the screen? Yeah, I think it is, right? I always screw that up. But to the left.
Huh?
To my right.
No, but
their left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason why, okay, here we go. Come on, come down here. The reason why I want to talk about this is like, for me, this month, I've only been trading 10 days. I just looked at it today. Today's the 11th. I don't know if that means every day. I think I had one day off this month. So I have 6 positives and 4 negatives. That's not generally the way that I operate. Normally, it's much closer, like higher, like 15 and 5 or something like that. But we're taking bigger swings. So the thing is that hopefully, I mean, we never want to, you know, celebrate losing trades. But month over month, we're still there and we're still where we need to be. It's just, it's been a violent month. So a lot of winners, a lot of losers, but at the end of the day, still a trophy month temporarily. Let's see if we can continue to raise it. Maybe if we break 890, we may give some of that back. But here we go. Nice downside move here for NVIDIA. I'm going to go grab a coffee. We do have, okay, here we go. $4 now in the money on NVIDIA. We are bidding 885.50 right now on this name. So like I said, man, this might look like chaos in the mind, but right now, we're all over this. And let's see if we can get $5 now on NVIDIA to the downside. Adara, kill him with kindness.
It's still me, but that's okay. Get as much as 50-to-1 leverage when trading Forex at IG. Currencies like Euro and USD can require as little as 2% margin rates and offer $0 commission trading. Using a Forex account at IG for a limited time, traders can open, fund, and trade with IG for up to a $10,000 funding bonus. Terms and conditions apply.
There you go. And trying to be a little bit patient. We mentioned that Amazon was at 175. So there's your level. There's your one entry in front of it at 87. It's already headed back down into the lows. The other thing that was happening, remember GBT? I said I was trailing GBT. IBIT, that's now the second time I said it. IBIT was trailing it out here to 38.20. Well, that pulled down, so what is going to happen? Coinbase off of 240 starting to work its way to the downside. So I got a bid out in front of VWAP, and then we'll see how far that can go. So just kind of be patient, wait for a level to establish itself, then start to roll it over. Like, that's been a heck of a lot more consistent for me. I just don't want to be fighting stocks. Like, that's what's worked for myself. Like, black swan and on. The reason I called, what happened last week, the reason I called it a black swan is without getting too long-winded about it, I took a position that actually was at no point wrong and had a gigantic loss on it, but it's a bit complicated to explain what happened, but suffice to say that the entire move was essentially me getting liquidated and nothing else happened on the stock. And then it was right back to what it was normally. So that was more along the lines of a timing issue and using a different gateway and a lot of other things that could have worked out differently. But momentum's been great this month. I can't complain about it. Like, I don't, on a momentum basis, like today, because I gave back NVIDIA, like that'll probably be the first negative day. Momentum trading. But doing things like this, like Coinbase gives you a level. Just take it, hold it to there, and then look for the next level down. That's what's worked out for me. Tesla was strong, is strong. is still strong. So even in that pullback, it's holding around 174. I'm not trying to be short Tesla, but if the market recovers from this to take out the highs, I think Tesla probably is the long to be had. Until then, we're staying short. Fisker is still somehow magically, I mean, are you kidding me? So it's now breaking 15 again, but I'm expecting after this kind of a breakdown, okay, so here's the reason I'm thinking it's gonna go. Like look at, okay, Quadunk, 15, failed once, got to 14, now tries to hold it, then a long consolidation. Like why isn't this at least dropping into Thursday's low? And if not, further than that. So I'm in it. I was gonna give it a full cent. Because nothing's happening, I've actually tightened that up to half a cent. Because it's now 2:45 and there's less time for it to make a move. So Amazon short working, Coinbase short working. Watch out for IBIT if it makes a fresh low. I'm not playing a reversal if this breaks the bottom again.
$7. All right, here we go. Nice move to the downside here on Nvidia, $7. Just touched the 200 period. No, not good enough. Let's go lower on this one. Let's go Nvidia. Get down into this 881. We're bidding 881.25. Let's see if we could spin this, man. We're short at 890 right now. I mean, down into this level, I'm fine with that. We are bouncing off the 200. Normally we would take something out there, but let's just get greedy with it. I mean, if it comes back, we've already done some damage here on this pull. I want to thank everybody in the chat for all the words because, yeah, it does sort of, you know, when we're sitting here exposing the trades to everybody, there's no, I mean, I don't know if there's other channels that would do this or not, but I mean, this is, you know, when we lose, we talk about it and it sucks, you know. But these are the positions that I'm putting on live trading, real money, all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you're seeing these trades, this is what we're doing. Look at all these shorts up here to 890. I mean, it's honestly not a fluke. Like I said, we're doing this all month. And it's led to great results. So like, look at this, 890. There it goes, man. When we lose, we're getting cut up. You know, small little cuts. But when we're winning, man, this is the kind of damage that we're doing. So it just dropped down into 883 there. Are we getting too greedy, man? 881.20, 881.25, something like that. I don't know, but we're going to wait. Thank you so much, Caesar, and for everybody else. I mean, this is just how the trades are floating down, you know, for me today. The only mistake that we've made today, I feel like, and it wasn't a good one, and I'm here to admit that, right, is that this Micron. I thought, you know what, I'm almost done trusting upgrades and downgrades now. I'm just gonna play catalysts that are actually material to the stock, you know, because that to me is a better strategy. We had to wait on Monday for Micron to get, like we had written down the same levels on Monday, man, 93, 92s, and then even lower. We had to wait for this, you know, to come in, and then finally it went back to the upside. So we did lose early on Micron, and the same thing happened today. Look, upgrades, my you know what upgrades. Double upgraded today, yeah, that looks like that. No, so anyways, there goes Nvidia just bouncing again off of the 200 period moving average. I don't know, man. Do we just take this $5 and then leave a little piece? I'm debating doing that. 884. Let's just put a bid at 884. We still have shares on board, so we don't have to worry about it. If it does come back down in lower, then we'll take that bid even lower. So we'll get out at 884 right now. We did not go get our coffee. I want to hear what Miss Shea has to say now, but Miss Danielle was on
Still in the bit.
The recap show. Oh yeah, 3 o'clock. Oh, yeah.
She's on at 3.
Oh yeah, I might go then. I want to hear what she has to say. All right, so here we go. Nice little move to the downside here. Hopefully we'll get something out at 885, and then we'll work on it after that. But so far so good here on those reloaded positions of Nvidia. And just so everybody knows, like we're out now of like pretty much 65% of the trade. So wish we would have held a little bit more, but again, when we come into the 50 period and we've really been bleeding to that level, we're going to take it out, man. Because we hadn't made the best decisions on Nvidia today. So we'll wait for it. Conference in an hour and 10 minutes. And then I feel like Nvidia is going to go crazy at that point. So at 4 o'clock, it's going to be nuts. Let's see what we can get out of it. Nvidia right now trying to head back up to that 890 area.
Yeah, and if you're looking at SMCI, by the way, it's flirting with this $1,000 level, like back and forth and round and round. I actually traded the 1,000, and I had this conversation with Max that I think the way that I was approaching it was probably wrong, because I did this, I was in it at 1,000, And when I had an 1,000 short that essentially like right away took the break, it didn't work, I just got out of it right away. And I said, I'm gonna take the re-break of 1,000 and just give it a wide berth. So I did take it the second time, went to give it a wide berth, but the problem is it went down to 991, and the second I got like a profit take out there, I then moved my stop to break even. And when I did that, instead of stopping it out here, I'm like, oh, it's going down, let's stop it out at break even, and we'll play the continuation play. But SMCI doesn't play like that. Like you had to, like if you're gonna play that move, you've got to give it to $10, take some out at 1-to-1, but I didn't give it to $10, I didn't go back into it. And I think if you're trading this stock and you're not using options, that's something you have to wrap your head around. On Nvidia, you will find opportunities where, I know one's $900 and one's $1,000, but they don't trade the same. You'll find opportunities on Nvidia where you can reasonably risk a couple of dollars, maybe even like $2 to $5, even less sometimes. I've taken breakout trades where I'm risking like 50, like essentially 50 cents plus slippage. You can find that on Nvidia. You will not find those trades on SMCI, I don't think. I think you just got to be able to give it the wide berth. And me moving the stop was a mistake. And I know that it was a mistake at that time. And if I'm going to trade it, I have to find an entry that I like for $10 worth of risk. And then just pretend it's would you trade a $100 stock on a breakout with $1 worth of risk? Yeah, you'd probably do that. So I think you got to have that kind of a mentality when you're trading SMCI. And because I didn't, it ended up being a mistake for me. That said, the next thing I'm about to do is look at Coinbase bounce off VWAP. Bouncing off VWAP, I don't love that. See that? I was about to reload it. So you hold a higher low on IBIT, which is Bitcoin obviously for everybody, and you hold VWAP. I don't need to mess around with that. If it breaks the high, getting out. If I see it put in a lower high, maybe I find a way back into it, but there's no need to reload that trade the way it's screaming into that top. If anything, I see something like an Amazon here, which is trending down and trying to put in lower highs. So like this is trending down. I'm seeing reasons to add back into this one if we get that opportunity. So I like to step out of the way of things that are going absolutely ham to the upside. If the trend is that strong, coin, just let it be. Shout out to you, Ian Respeto. What are thoughts on Lulu? Earnings on Thursday. Was thinking of going long on these levels. I don't like going long into earnings. Unless the only circumstance in which I'm going long into earnings personally in my long-term account is if it's a stock that I was already going to buy that quarter and I feel like I'm dollar cost averaging and I'm going to hold it long enough that I don't give a darn what they're going to report. I don't care what they're going to report that quarter. I feel as if just taking a shot on something, like I have to have like decent fundamental reasons as to why it's going to go. I guess from a risk to reward standpoint, you're probably, even I marked off 450 here. So I must have liked 450 for some reason at some point on this stock, but you're probably just thinking, okay, 50 period, give it to that recent support. Even if it goes 10% down, you're probably reasonably getting out underneath the 430. That's not even 10%. So you've got yourself a decent risk to reward shot. I'm not a huge fan of those types of plays. I like to react after earnings as opposed to make those bets before, especially in the retail space. Retail names have been under a little bit of pressure. I like a close above the 50 period. That's good. I don't know where my 200 period is. I guess I didn't zoom out far enough for you guys. There, I don't know, it's still not loading. I can just go to trade ideas for the 200 period. I don't like looking. Let's do it right here. There it is. Yeah, the 200 period's all the way down at 420. I'm not a huge fan of that. Yeah, but it just loaded up on the chart there. I'm not a huge fan all the way up here. I like playing high quality names for buys when they're looking like they're in a bit of a reversal channel. I like it either off, if it's really good off the 50 period or just off the 200 period. So if it goes under pressure, this thing drops 10%, it's gifting you the 200 period moving average. That's my jam for stocks like this. And I'm not hoping it goes down there, but I mean, it's usually pretty appealing catching dips off those levels. That's why I got Pan W, was off that exact same play. But I'm gonna go back over to Amazon, see if we can't get that lower high. This one looking like it's gonna be a good trend back in. If 18.3 holds in the NASDAQ, we got a relatively weak name. It's only 0.1 to the upside. Market's up 1.2.
Ooh, Amazon. Yeah, the other name that I liked was Google at the bottoms there a little bit. Let's have a quick.
Where's Google?
Yeah, no, it's way lower now. 140.
Oh, come on, Alphabet.
Oh, shoot, back to 888s now. Okay. Nice little run up there. Ooh, we did touch that 883 there. Yeah, okay, we knew about that. All right, 883, nice downside move. We'll, for NVIDIA, I don't have any more averages in. This thing is loud in my ear. 890. We could go one more time at 890. Let's just put something up there, like 889.75 or something like that. Again, I just think the risk to reward is here. We're going to get out at 891 anyways, like up near this top. So if it breaks higher than this, I mean, anything around 890 is basically free money, because you're going to, what I mean by that is if you lose on it. But if you're going to lose $1.50 on NVIDIA, that's a win, you know, because we're not taking $1.50. So let's see if it gets back into the downside right now on NVIDIA. I think is well worth the risk, needless to say, as I keep saying the same thing. So we'll wait for that. Thoughts on NVIDIA at close, says Kurt Hoffman, up, which is what's bothering me right now, because I honestly think that at 4 o'clock, this name could go nuts. But the thing about it is, you know, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe Adair, you could find out for this. Like, maybe does he have a prepared speech or not? Because, like, I know it's just a conference, so it's not a speech, so it's probably not prepared. But if he doesn't drop any huge, like, I don't know what, I mean.
If they don't get anything exciting, could it not tank $10?
I don't know, though, because there's no way a CEO, he's not coming without fire.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No way.
Yeah, but if it is disappointing,
That's
remember,
the risk.
was it Apple or Meta? Or was it both? They like the Apple had, you know, sometimes you see these events. I know RIVN was the last time there was an event.
RIVN.
And RIVN that's a squeeze name. I just feel like the expectations are always so high. I don't know. I'm sort of talking about
There's no way. What I'm saying is, like, there's just no way he's coming without anything.
Oh yeah, they have, of course. They're gonna have fantastic products.
yeah.
If anything, if you're looking for like a sympathy, well, I don't want to trade Nvidia, I think that'll be too crazy. I mean, if anything that helps Nvidia with market share, probably put some pressure on some AMD stock, which we've seen that kind of go different directions from time to time. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at least a little bit at that. AMD, ooh, I got a bad wick here. But AMD, not as strong today. It's basically flatlining. Like, look at, why isn't AMD a short at 193? That's the first question.
That's what I've been shorting. I've been trying to. I was shorting this 192 area, but
yeah, Friday's
Oh,
high.
you said 193? Yeah. Yes, it
Friday's
is a short.
How come I have the wick?
What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm already short here at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's coming in right now. Get me that 884. You know, we're short at 889 right now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We're at 884.15. Let's see if it bottom ticks down to that area, which it's not. So I'm just going to take an 885 now. Cancel. There it is. Cancel my 884. And then ring the damn register again. Like, I'm going to spin this for everybody who's watching. Because honestly, if you're watching me do this, it's what I do best. It's try to find levels and try to get them out. And then what else I do best is revenge trade, so I don't want to do that. So we're going to wait to see. Now, hopefully it can fall. The only problem that I have is we don't have as many shares now, but that's okay. We just got out at 885.12 off of an 890. We're short at 889.95. So right there, that's 885.12. No matter where it goes right now, that's $5. So you put that in the bank over and over and over again, as if we were Tim Duncan over here. Let's just keep hitting that bank shot and put that in our pocket. So right now this allows me to. We're already waiting at 889 again to get the reload on that one. So wow, what a difference a day makes. And we tweeted that out. Have the ability to switch up your game. Like, we were long Nvidia, long Nvidia, long Nvidia. You know, and down a couple $100, which wasn't that much, but still, you know, down there. Then we switched it up to go positive on the name, back into the shorts. So it's like, if I just kept on being stubborn, trying to get the long, sure, there's great longs down here as well. It's just sometimes you got to flip up your game just a little bit. NVIDIA was up 4%, I want to say, off the open. We got to that level again that we keep talking about. That at 925 or so area. The next time we're up here, we had a monster short that one time. We had $20-something off of 920 into 900. But, you know, that happened again today. So I feel like that up here, I should have a red mark up there, but we don't. So, all right, nice downside move there. We'll take a little piece out as we get lighter and lighter on NVIDIA. And we'll just wait. I'm waiting for Ms. Shea to come through. We did have DocuSign today. There's the trade that I had earlier on. We had it on the news break of potential, not potential, it's the same stuff where they broke it. So another buyer, I guess, trying to come in there. It looks like we had a good price, got out 60%, then got out 40% and wind up positive on the name. So, yeah.
Shout out in the chat. It was
go ahead.
PayPal is what I was thinking of. Remember, we're going to change the world. Basically, they're going to shock. They're going to shock that's who it was. It was PayPal CEO. We're going to shock the entire payments world. We're going to change. Blah blah blah. And then the event happened, and it was like the biggest dump move on the stock that you would, not that you'd ever seen, but it was, that's the one. I knew there was something very recently where the expectations were really high and then they just absolutely dumped it. Speaking of, I don't want to say dump it, but I said I'll get the next lower high on Amazon. That seems like it's right here at 174.80-ish. So 175, now 174.80. Coinbase is looking a little bit better, but you look at it, it's now holding VWAP twice. I did eventually pull back off 240 and I was gonna get that reload, but I'll need to see it curl again and try and catch it on the way down, not on the way up. However, it's not all bad in this space. Mara's kind of doing the opposite of, like Coinbase, I feel like Coinbase was weak, but Mara, because of its short float and what it's now doing off of the one level I traded today, which is 1920, it broke 1920, I shorted under. It broke back above, I'm like, I want to get out of Dodge. I feel like this can be a long off 1925. I just want to see some strength in Bitcoin. And if I see that start to rally, I might start looking for some longs over there. But until then, I mean, short coin off 240. Amazon just got the reload down here, 174.80. Let us know what else you guys are watching here. I know Danielle's going to be coming through just very shortly. And the boring man saying PayPal to 90 on the next earnings.
I wonder if that person is long.
Okay. That would be very impressive. If PayPal gets to 90 before or on next earnings, I guess you said on next earnings. I mean, that would be hella impressive. I mean, it's $25 from here. You're talking about a 40% move-ish to the upside. But
gotta break 70 first.
Yeah, like there's a lot in the way here. Like, look at how big the 75 to 78 level is on PayPal. That seems unlikely. I mean, getting to there, that makes some sense, but I don't know.
Back to $6 again. Last time we were $7 in the money, we're like $7, and then it ripped back up 4 more. So we'll let this one settle down as it was just $6, now $5. You see, this is how violent these names are, and that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like this is a fun time to trade, but at the same time, you got to trade with stops. Like you cannot, like if we don't get stopped, like if we don't. Well, I mean, sometimes it looks bad when you look back at it, but it's like, for example, right here, if we don't stop ourselves out when NVIDIA is tanking, then all of a sudden we have, even if you have 100, like it depends on your own stop, or your own risk tolerance, but even if you have 100 shares, 200 shares, something like that, I mean, this name goes down from this breaker at 890 all the way down to literally 870 right there. So that's $20 straight down from when we got out of our wrong long. So if you stay in there, sure, it came all the way back. And if you have a longer time frame than Neil and I, then you're able to trade this. And maybe we're going to have Danielle Shea come on very soon. And then when she comes through, that's options. That's going to be different, right? So options basically have a 0 or 1. You're going to make money or they're going to expire. Now, there are obviously you can get in and out of them as well. Scalping in through options, 0 day to trade options. All right, anyways, we're going to wait for this move down. I don't even have any bids out yet. I'm still waiting for 875. So well, whatever. I'll put the bid out right now then. 875.65. And I put 66. So let's wait to see if this comes back into the downside right now. $10 from here. I know, wishful thinking, right? Let's see if it comes in. If not, fine. We'll wait for 890 and then we'll deal with this when it comes out. If we have to get out, like honestly, at 880, I mean, boo-hoo, we'll take $10, but hopefully we have that choice. We may not. We did talk about it. You're not in it. Oh, you are in it. So you are in Coinbase. Okay, so we can wait on that. There's just Coinbase has this great top, and I saw something in the chat, so I know you're already in it. So right there, 240. Really like that. I really like this break potential to the downside. We talked about IBIT and all that into 67,000. My long was 34 and change on IBIT. Like I said, I actually wind up having more Solana. But, we'll just keep averaging this in. But that was a nice high of $42. I'm getting
just another question on that.
Yeah.
Is that including like your you and the purpose stuff?
Yeah, no, it's including everything. We have a lot. But so I just looked
Solana.
at that. No, it's good.
So hold on a second.
I looked at my account and realized that
if Solana, where is it right now? What's the exact price?
204.
Okay, so if Solana goes to, let's just say 10,000.
Yeah.
Are you taking everybody in the high school group to Vegas?
No.
No, it's an inside joke because
we're going to Macau.
No, this actually happened. We had a friend who basically said if Ethereum goes to price X, I'm taking the entire crew, and this is like our boys group in high school is a lot of
Yeah,
guys.
and it went like 10x that price.
And it basically, it didn't just beat that price, like not 10x, but maybe 3 or 4 times past that price. And I'm just saying, like obviously, I've still never been to Vegas.
That was at 198
Like,
now.
he did take us to a nice steakhouse though, which was.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, before he left, that was nice of him.
That's a good time.
Yeah, make a couple $100 million, spend a couple $100. That's good. Okay, here goes Cardano to the. Was it that much?
Yeah, it was more than a couple. There was like a dozen dudes at the steakhouse. He dropped.
There
like,
wasn't a dozen.
Okay, it was at least 10 of us, wasn't it? He dropped a few grand. I mean, come on.
Grand? No.
It wasn't a Vegas trip though.
I'm saying less than $1,000. Okay, right here, Cardano.
He knows
So
who
here,
he
just
is.
come over here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Super nice guy. What?
He's a great. Oh, I love him.
Doesn't have to do anything.
I
We're
love him
just-
to death. We're
just
good
having
friends.
fun.
It's fine.
But look, Ethereum is pulling back down at 3,500. So is Bitcoin 67. Look at Ethereum. You want to talk about potentially, if you do believe in some of these crypto names, getting out of, potentially names that have really gone, made that run. We talked about unstaking a little bit of them again. Maybe dropping them into something else like in Ethereum. But again, it's been such a huge run for so many names, including Dogecoin, like all of the names. But right here in the last week, you're down quite violently, over 20% in many names. But you know what? 99 problems. Crypto, trust me when I tell you, ain't one. Neither is Nvidia right now, because now we're trying to break down through 884. So we're finally starting to hold a little bit lower on Nvidia. We have a $6 winner, and we're going to try to hold on to see if we can get a little bit better than that as this name continues to push lower. So we'll wait for that. And yeah, man, it would be my pleasure to take many people to Vegas if that does come through. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I was only making the joke. Like,
No, but I would love
hold
to do
anybody
that. I mean,
stuff.
if
It's
it
just
hey man, if it gets it 10 grand from 200 bucks.
no, of course. Like if
But
like,
knowing me, man, I'll probably get it all out. Like I'll get it all out at like 400, 500,
still fine.
10 grand. I hope that's the case.
No, it's only.
All right.
It is what it is. But
Yep.
Oh, I just got into Intel VWAP, pulling back into VWAP. So retracement into VWAP. I'm going short because why go long anything apparently. But it is time. Let's get some ideas on options trading from our favorite guest on a Monday, or just every day.
Hey, there she is. Yeah, Danielle Shea joining us on a Monday to tee up what's going to be a pretty busy week. Ms. Shea, good to see you as always.
Good to see you too.
A lot to discuss. Let's kick things off maybe with this NVIDIA theme, because everyone focused on NVIDIA coming up tonight. Again, we get the keynote speech from the CEO at this conference, but it's going to run the next 3 days. And I wanted to bring this up in the sense that when you get a multi-day type of event instead of just like a one-off like earnings or something like that, do you approach that differently? And if so, what's your play there when it comes to, like a 2 or 3 or even in this case 4-day type of trade?
Well, so when you look at NVIDIA and you think about the news-related event, I mean, I do have a slight concern that it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. But at the end of the day, I always go back and look at the charts, right? And so when you look at NVIDIA, I mean, the main thing that I'm seeing is that we still have a gorgeous trend. We're holding up above the 21 EMA on the daily chart. And I think because of this event, we're seeing consolidation. So if you look at my lower time frame charts, you can see that I have a signal, which is called the squeeze. And the squeeze is my favorite signal that I use to get into trades. We've got consolidation and the squeeze on a 195 and a 78-minute chart. When you have that plus the bullish trend on the daily chart, I mean, I think it's pretty likely to break out to the upside. So like I said, I am a little cautious on it just because of the news-related potential buy the rumor, sell the news event. But I mean, I've got a bullish setup on this one, and I have price targets at 950 and 1,000. So I think that if we can just consolidate for a few days while we have that ongoing news, there's a potential that this continues to break out. Obviously, what you'd want to do is you just want to use your lower time frame charts to kind of follow along with that trend. There are instances where that squeeze will break to the downside, but you'd see that on the lower time frame charts if that was the case. And as of now, it's holding on just fine.
Sense that typically when you get like a multi-day, 2 or 3 day type of event, you get everything's front loaded. You get all the announcements, all the exciting stuff happens day one, and then it kind of it's nothing for the next few days. So great stuff. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple of days here. I mean, you had a great list of tickers that you wanted to talk about. I want to focus on Google here because pretty good day right now, anyways, for Google, going into the last hour and change here left, coming off this. I mean, they've already gone to Apple, and they're paying them billions a year. I was reading at lunchtime for search. Now we might get Gemini on iPhones as well.
So when you look at Google, I mean, Google is just an amazing catalyst for today. I mean, that's exactly what we needed. We needed something to cause the NASDAQ and to cause these tech stocks to continue going. And that's what Google gave us today. So when you look at Google, I mean, I think that, the gap up was great. I think it was a great catalyst. But I struggle with what I can do with it here because, for me, the entry point was last week on the breakout above the 50 simple. That, with the recovery off of the 200 down here, plus the breakout of the 50, those would have been great entry spots. At this point, it's kind of like, well, I don't like the profit taking that's coming in. I don't like the big wick here. Overall, great company, great stock, but I just don't think I can suggest an entry on it.
You had an interesting one on here in Crowd, CRWD. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're beyond earnings here for Crowd. What are you seeing in that one?
So, this is more of the type of ticker that, I'll look at and I'll say, this is at a great spot for an entry because we already had earnings. It had a great earnings report. When it reported earnings, it had this big gap up. And, yes, it did pull back after that, but it's consolidating and it's back at the mean. And so when I'm looking for swing entries, I really want to find tickers that have pulled back and they're at either the 34 EMA on the daily chart, which we're not quite there, but we are at the 21 EMA on the daily chart. That's a really good spot for swing entries. And as you can see, it has this consolidation, the squeeze. And so typically that squeeze is going to break out in the direction of the trend, which is up. So that would bring you up into a resistance target around 350. And then if it could break through there, and if it could break through the previous high, your new all-time high would be up here at about 380.
Still a few interesting names coming up this week, in fact, for earnings. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go, I mean, you had Netflix, Meta, and Amazon. Give me your favorite one out of those three.
So between those, I really like Netflix because Netflix is starting the run into earnings. So it might seem a little bit early to be talking about earnings season, but I'm generally going to look at stocks about 21 bars ahead of their earnings report. And Netflix's earnings report is going to come in on April 18th. And so that means that it's entering that 21 bar timeframe tomorrow. So when you look at Netflix and you see that the last 2 quarters, it's had these major breakaway gaps, what that typically leads to is it typically leads to a really nice bullish run into earnings the next quarter. So, I know people say like, that's crazy. This thing has already been on fire. It needs to take a break. All of those things are true, but we also have a setup here. We have 2 breakaway gaps in a row. We have a stock that's within a stone's throw of the previous all-time high at 700, and the expected move is aligned in which it could actually make that in April. So this is an aggressive trade for sure, but I've got the setup on it, and I'm going to be working on trading this one up to a new high.
Yeah, that daily chart is just incredible. The move off the lows for Netflix nonstop. There's still more in the chip group coming up this week. We touched on Micron to kick things off here at 2 o'clock. What are you doing with MU for earnings this week?
So, Micron has just been so all over the place. There's a lot of these semiconductor stocks that all, hands down go long. But when you look at Micron, half of the time it's up, half the time it's down after earnings. You can see that it has been a little bit more up than down. And certainly it's been recovering really well off of the lows. But with this stock in general, I would just say that it's not consistent enough for me to get too long going into this earnings report. If you look at the way that they reported last quarter, they were losing money last quarter. The quarter before that, they were losing money. The quarter before that, they were losing money. Yes, they did. They were able to get an 8% gap up But this one's pretty shaky for me. So generally, when I have a situation like this, I will go into it and I'll see if I can sell the at the money calls and the at the money puts with protection on each side, because that way I can create a neutral trade in the options market where it doesn't matter if it goes up or down, but I'm just able to sell premium and buy it back the next day.
Busy week, as I mentioned, to kick things off. I mean, hey, we get the Fed on Wednesday as well coming up. Lulu, Nike, I mean, both, more or less in the same space here. Nike with more exposure over in China. But what are you thinking here as far as Lululemon and Nike are concerned?
So for both of these, they also fall into my completely inconsistent pre-earnings trade checklist. So whenever I'm looking for something that I want to trade before the report, I have to have a regular pattern. With Lululemon, it is a little bit more up than down, but you can see, last quarter you had this gap lower that people came in and bought. So it still strikes me as bullish, but the moves are a little bit all over the place. You've got a 1% move, you got an 8% move, you got a 14% move. So typically in the situation where you have stocks like this, that the pattern isn't in a strong trend either up or down, and you have just these major moves, the best thing to do is generally to wait and trade them after the fact, because it's really hard to have an edge on an earnings trade pre-earnings when the stock is just so inconsistent. So with both of these, Nike in particular, I would look out for a downside trade. With Lulu, I'd look out for an upside trade, but I think they're best to be done after earnings.
Great stuff as always. Lots to look forward to coming up this week. Danielle Shea, check her out on X at TraderTV Danielle on YouTube as well. We'll catch you later on in the week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danielle, as always, dropping some science. And we have us afternoon guests, and everyone's happier when the market goes up in a general sense, right? Because you're long stocks in your long-term account. But if you're short a bunch of stuff, then here's the reload on Amazon, and there's the breaking 175. The good news is I did not reload coin because, as I was mentioning, it just felt like no need to do it. It bounced off VWAP a second time. Maybe it would have worked there, but I'm not going to get trapped into that. So we stopped that one out without making more of a mess and at least go green on it. Wish I had reversed it. However, there is this thing being called Mara, if you're not looking at my screen right now, with a triple top-ish. It's like a lower high VWAP bounce, and then once, twice, thrice off 1960 and change. So if we're going to continue this rally on crypto-adjacent things, they're the ones with the, I don't know, I want to say 20% short float. Let's just double check. I haven't checked this in a while. 23% short still on Mara. Yep. So you have a nice consolidation breakout. It's 315, so this is where you want to keep things tight to the vest. So like a breakout here with a stop underneath 50 is about 15 to 20 cents worth of risk, and you got 40, 50 cents to the high of the day. So I like that look. It's probably a 63 break if you're just looking at that flat top in there. To sum up what is happening on Fisker is it is going up and down 1/10 of a cent, which I find hilarious for a stock down 13%, which could be going bankrupt, to flat bottom break, and then do absolutely nothing. But hey, if it doesn't do anything, I'm just not going to get, there's no reason for me to get out. I have my stop on it at about 15 and just underneath 15 and a half. It either goes or it doesn't. It's pretty binary at this point for me. So I'm getting my stop on Mara here. There we go, using an Edge A1. So you'll see, like, actually my limit order will fire to like 68. I don't expect any slippage on this. I'm only crossing 5 cents higher because there's plenty of liquidity there on Mara.
All right. Funny tweets happening right now, so thank you so much for all of that. Meanwhile, while you guys were gone, this happened. We shorted again. So there's the reload. Oh, here, you guys want that? Remember we were talking about where this is from Carlito's Way? All right, we are reloaded right now. Another $3 winner, but we took some out for $1 immediately. Same minute. Short here, 888.95 out, 887.75. So $1.20 on the board, yes. And now we'll see if we can get a nice downside push into this one. Still more, no, I still have that bid at 875 and change. Now, obviously, I wish we didn't do that, but that was the same minute, a real quick trade there on NVIDIA to come back in. So, yeah, we'll wait. Apple, wow, okay. I might just get out of this name. Honestly, we've been We put in some cash, and it was for a swing trade, so it was a little more than like I was comfortable with. Generally, when I'm, well, not more than I'm comfortable with, I would never do that, but more than like averaging in, because I didn't put it into my long-term account. We already have Apple. I really thought that we could have seen a bottom down there on Apple. We actually got long at 169, like 05 or something. I'll double check it, but nice move to the upside right there. And I'm thinking about like, I don't think we're not out of Apple today or anything like that, but if we can get into like this 178, 179 before the imminent market flush, then I think that might be something to come through. You know what else could happen today? And I'm not just saying this because I'm short NVIDIA. I was telling you, I think NVIDIA could probably pop here into the close. But often, this kind of reminds me of like, so NVIDIA right here has been down 4 of the last 5 days. We've talked about that, right? Now today, it would probably be down again today, if not for this conference. So I just wonder if kind of like the Bitcoin ETFs and everything like that, now it hasn't happened this time around because the Bitcoin ETFs, you know, we just made new highs up to 73,000. But I just wonder if it's kind of like if they don't deliver something overly special, and they'll deliver something special, but if the market doesn't like it and this name is down tomorrow, watch out because it could really get clubbed back in. I've been calling 700, like I'm not buying any more NVIDIA till 7 something. It's gonna have a 7 handle in it. And I think we can get down here into 720. Obviously the 50 period, by the time we do that, unless it's tomorrow, we'll be up here somewhere around 720, 7 something. But see this little gap that we have right here in NVIDIA? Like I think we could fill this. So that right there is 722. So watch out for that possible gap fill on NVIDIA. Still a very successful trade, man. Anybody that's been long NVIDIA, but you know we could pull back, and I hope it doesn't, to be honest with you. But if it does, that's something that wouldn't surprise me, and it wouldn't be the first time that NVIDIA went down 20%. 20% is like a cough. This name could go down 35%. Then you lose $300 on 900. Then you're into 600. Then you'd see some buyers probably step in a lot into NVIDIA.
I'd imagine, yeah.
I would think so. 67 still has to hold here on Bitcoin before we see IBIT at a possible 38 buy level. I mean, we talked about this level buying at 38 a lot of times. Today it came in again. You bought 38, so you could have got out 38.80. Feel like pretty confident maybe sitting there, watching out for Bitcoin. I'm gonna hope though that this market gets to the downside right now. Are we getting too greedy with NVIDIA? Answer yes. Because I keep seeing the net just bouncing around here. Like we're now $2 in the money and we just keep on getting down here into 886, which would be 325 in the money, but it's not breaking it. Let's wait for a break and then, I don't know guys, we may have to get out at 883. I really want to see a flush. So let's wait to see what's going on. People talking about Tesla though.
Well, Pixie's halted to the upside here. 97% to the upside. It's halted at $6.70. Just very quickly, if you're not aware of the different types of halts, you can always just go to the trade halt page. If you want to confirm, it is not news-based. It's just a volatility halt there on Shift Pixie. The tap is $6.70, and that's exactly where it closed. That said, I feel like on NASDAQ ones, we're not always getting a true tap. It's telling us where it's going to open up after. Maybe a little bit closer to when it is expected to open in 2 minutes. We'll get an idea there. It's 500,000 float on Pixie and 8.4% short float. So this is kind of like a squeeze, obviously. If there's no specific news I didn't see. Joel Frenston, I was about to go to Intel, but your question was, didn't you like Mara at 1960? I believe I said the local high up here was like 1963. It's not a big difference, but I mean, every time it's gotten to 60, it has not broken that top. So it'll break 60 and go 1 or 2 cents and not actually break the high. So it needs to break that local high, and then I would punch long above. That's the thing about a breakout trade. Like a breakout trade, if I put the level in, like I want it breaking above that top somewhere. Like I'm not trying to get in a center two underneath it. To me, if you're gonna dip buy into this long, I'd be doing that around here at 1930. Up at the top, it's gotta actually go. It hasn't happened just yet. So Intel's starting to work back down off of VWAP. I am not bidding 80, which at 3, it says 42, 80. 81 I'm going to bid. At 323, it makes sense to get something in front of the 20 level, then the 80 level, the 70 level, and then the 60 level on the way back in. Seeing Dandelions in the chat asking about Roblox. I haven't traded Roblox since earnings, probably. I know you're in this one, from time to time, obviously in the long term, but also into it from time to time, down 7% and going sideways.
Down 7%.
So if you're looking for like the problem with trading, like if you're in a stock like Fisker, like I'm in it and it's not doing anything, well, it's fine. There's no reason for me to get out of it because it's not moving. But I don't think you ever want to get into something when this is happening. You know, like there's not much of a trade there for us as day traders, but on the higher time frame, I don't know what's going on today, specifically why it's down 7.5%. I'll put my hands up in the air and I won't wave them like I just don't care. But look at the flat bottom break if this can't hold 36. I mean, today, if not tomorrow. That looks bad. And you're now underneath the 200 period moving average, that's 37. A break of 36 tomorrow on Roblox, and I'm just writing that down on my iPad actually, and probably not what anybody wants to hear, but that looks like a pretty decent short if it breaks 36 tomorrow. And that might even have already broken, so that might be like 35.90 something it looks like. Yeah, it's more like 35.95, but you see what we're getting at here. Not sure what's going on there. I don't know if you've checked the news.
Oh, I was gonna just look it up right now.
7.5% is not. It's nothing to sniff at for Roblox if there's no catalyst. I mean, the market's up today, so I can't even imagine. Like, there's got to be something there, I would assume. I mean, it's not going to be down 7.5% on an up market.
Monday, March 4th. No, that's no news here. Why? Science is here. Hold on a second here. All right, Roblox. So we talked about NVDA earlier, right there. Company said it was evaluating offers.
We're supposed to get an offer today.
Here we go. RB. There it is, Roblox. Yeah, it doesn't say anything here, actually. Roblox Corporation fell 6.5%. So we can look it up, but there is nothing on here right now for Roblox.
Well, then I'm wrong.
So we'll wait. No, it doesn't mean you're wrong.
No, it does. No,
is news.
I felt like there had to be news.
It's 3:25 right now, by the way.
It's getting a little late in the
We are starting to tank right now, so let's go, man. Let's see if we can ride the most craziest animation that we have. We'll do this one. There we go. All right, so here we go. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Now we're starting to cook it up. It's another one right now for NVIDIA. Starting to get into the downside right now. So we're down into 885, so that's going to be a good trade. Finally breaking lower here on NVIDIA. Again, I'm waiting down here. I want to see a flush. I just don't want to get out and just be like at the end, oh man, why did we get out? Let's see something into here. Like I was bidding 875. Look at all these shorts. Wow, this is nuts. Okay, these levels, this is 880. I feel like 880. Okay, let's do an 880 bid. If we get something out at 880, then we'll hold the rest for that 875. I just won't be able to be super happy if we don't do something like that. So we'll bid out at 880. We'll see if we can take a dime piece on that one. Normally it's 10 cents. We'll see if we can take 10 bucks on this, and then here it comes back in. So we'll wait for that. Taking out the 200 period. Normally that's the target there, but I want to get a little more greedy. Like we said, it's working for us this month, waiting for bigger winners. So let's just try to wait for it again. So 880 right there. Nice wick down to 879. Obviously, if we take the 200, we'll probably flush, and then we should get that. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. It's already 8:30. It's already 3:30.
It's at that time where you ride usually at about 3:30. You're typically riding with what you have unless something really specific happens. And you know, there's no you might see some sympathy imbalances today because you had the witching on Friday. So you might see like some names that had big imbalances on Friday might also have them today. But I'm not expecting any massive ones. We'll keep an eye out for anything there. I did get one leg out on Intel there. It got the 80s. It can't seem to bust through this 75 area. But if we're going to go stair step down, next spot is here, 42.70s. I was wicked out of Amazon. We went 1 for 2 on that long. But if a wick like that happens to clear me out, I'm generally speaking going to jump right back into the short because it's still valid to me. Like you just ran stops. And then if you like it, you should be jumping, or I should be jumping back into it. I'm going to work this back into the low of the day. So Amazon, still going. Mara's not breaking that level. I'll probably cancel that order for the breakout if it gets too close to the end of the day there. I don't want to take a breakout too late. Tesla still hasn't taken out the top. So no dip into 172. No breakout of the high of the day. Those are the two trades I was kind of looking for on Tesla. So I'm not really doing anything with Tesla here. I thought we'd get another test off 72s or maybe catch a breakout trade. And you're running out of time for a break of the high of the day at this point.
All right, Ramin says for me to retweet this, so let's retweet this immediately. First of all, we did have an 884 bid there. We could have taken it. I have to not look at this or else I'm going to drive myself crazy because the more I see these little things like that, the more I'm like, I should just get out. But here it is right here. I want everyone to join me tonight with the market recap. So we're going to have Michael Noss on tonight. We're going to talk about everything. We don't have weed in here, but we are going to talk about get off the weed and find out what cannabis stocks he thinks we should be trading right now. So tonight's market recap show, like it, retweet it, and join me and Mr. Noss there tonight. There he is, a handsome gentleman coming through. Go follow him. 9,000 followers. We get him a little more than that, although I think he's gotten a lot since coming with us. But there it is. Michael Noss on tonight. We'll talk all about that. And do we have the earnings board tonight, or is that possible?
Really isn't much.
She's going to look. So the reason why I talk about it is because I have written down AMC for tonight. So are they tonight?
Hold on a second. Let me.
I wrote it down. It shows it on earnings.com right here. Sorry, on Market Chameleon.
That would seem
AMC
soon.
Entertainment Holdings. It does seem a little bit early, but there it is. After market close, expected move right here, 7.7% for AMC.
Didn't they just?
I don't know if they just reported or they reported something else, but there it is.
Maybe they did like prelim numbers or something.
The only other one was StoneCo.
StoneCo, yeah.
So that's another 12% mover on that one.
And then 10 cents tomorrow. But tomorrow,
yeah, tomorrow
pre-market,
morning
right?
There's probably a few better ones. I didn't really look at tomorrow morning, but we'll look
it's just
tonight.
10 cents.
And then realistically, I just put it out. What we're going to be looking at tonight is the NVIDIA conference. So that's what all that matters. Look at this, right back to the upside. I'm still going to hold it, honestly. I mean, there's not much for me to do here other than hold this. So we'll wait to see if it does come back in for NVIDIA. We already have our stop up there at 891. We'll give it back if it breaks it. I'm fine with doing that. Let's hold on to it and see if it works. Oh, man, it's only 3:30. Do we have that? We don't have that number. That's right.
No, we don't have the early look, but we mean at the end of the day, we can always look at individual names on the New York.
Yeah.
Specifically. So those do hit now-ish. Okay, BAC is an early 7.8 million buy. But again, some of this is like holdover the day after any kind of event. When you have a rebalance day, usually the Monday has bigger imbalances. So BMY is 3 million to sell. Early looks here, doesn't mean they'll come out this way. MO there, 2.3, nothing big. The names that we probably care about, you're not seeing there. XOM, bit of a sell. But BAC, I suppose, would be the big one. Now we got the earnings board. Yeah, you mentioned StoneCo.
You see AMC?
I don't see AMC there. And then tomorrow morning, oh, wait a minute, XPeng, it's XPeng and 10 cent tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's not just 10 cent in the morning. You're going to get XPeng as well. Yeah, I don't know. Usually when that gap's up, you want to short the pop. But it feels a bit digital. I suppose that's usually a mover sometimes. But, I mean, if AMC was, it seems like they just reported last month, but I could be wrong about that. I tried to find anything on it as well. Like, I mean, my trade ideas
NASDAQ.com
said last month, but if they were reporting, obviously that would be a big deal.
Oh, that's AMCX.
It's not really moving.
I wanted to go to NASDAQ.com here to find out.
Usually, that's a good resource for earnings dates. Except for NEO, they never seem to have that right.
I'll find it. I don't. If anybody can confirm that, yeah, May 3rd. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it shouldn't be now. March doesn't make any sense.
It's too early.
It's too early. I think it's too early as well. Okay, so we'll wait. And look at that, man. Talk about making a mistake. Look at where NVIDIA is. We talked about this name getting ramped up here into the close. Let's just try it one more time here. If it goes up, it goes up. I'm not even, like, fourth quarter earnings was, February 28th. Yeah.
That's what trade ideas had.
That's what I.
So then they shouldn't be.
When I looked at that at trade ideas, that's what I found too. So May 8th was Roblox. Those are people that said May 8th for Roblox. So I'll take AMC off the board. I wrote it down there, but I didn't see. There it is right there. Post market Feb 28th. So good call on that one. Whoever was mentioning that, but you know. All right, we'll take it off the board. So no AMC tonight. So pretty light.
But you know what else do you need when Nvidia's got the event?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, let's be real. I'm looking at this. Let's just say it. I mean, AMC, like what? Carvana. If you've been trading squeeze names, then you're much more interested in Carvana than you are AMC. As a trading vehicle, like what have people made more money trading on the last year? Carvana or AMC? It's not even close. But like Carvana that's your squeeze play. What else? I mean, there's been a bunch of other ones like Affirm is a better squeeze name at times than AMC. So, and then NVIDIA is NVIDIA. So let's be real. I think we're more excited to see, have you talk about. I'd rather see you spend 30 minutes on NVIDIA than 25 minutes on NVIDIA and 5 minutes on AMC. But that's just me. On earnings,
we'll be all
fine,
over
there
the
can be
place.
something, but that's more interesting when it's actually trading. I'm going to get some more out here, Intel, because it's 330 and it's bouncing off of the 75 area. So I'm just going to get a 76
This is going to be silly, guys.
XPeng, they're reporting as well, but that gave up almost everything today on that gap up. So the good news is it puts it right back at the 50-period moving average for tomorrow morning. Could have been a breakout into earnings, but now all of a sudden it's like clinging to life at the 50-period. But that's worth a look. They'll report usually like really, really early in the morning.
All right, before we get absolutely blasted here, we're not talking about St. Patrick's Day blasted. We're talking about NVIDIA getting blasted here. We just took more profit there. Like again, it's missing it because it's that quick. Like we just got 889.96. There's an out at 889 flat. There's an out at 888.50. So like we just made $1.50 there, like you didn't even see it. So we'll just go bang on that one, and then hopefully we can get some more downside push here into the name. And here we go. So we are starting to get excited a little bit here with NVIDIA, hopefully pushing back down into the downside. Remember, if we break higher, then we're out. But there it is, man. Nice, honestly, guys. Well, I don't know what else to do. Like that. Bang. I mean, we're just reloading these things downside. So there it is right there. Another reloaded $2. Good trading there. I still feel like it's going to blast up. Let's hold on now. We've gotten in and out so many times now on this name for NVIDIA that it's really irrelevant now. I'd hope that we don't break the top. But it's free money. It's house money. Let's just keep on seeing where it goes. No money is free money. We have to work really hard to get winning trades. This is not something for the late or the light or the vague or the something at heart is what I'm looking for.
The faint at heart.
Not the vague at heart.
Look out for Meta here.
Okay, look out for Meta. There it is again. It's another dollar club as we push in. Now we're breaking through 888. We just went short again. So it's like, damn, Daniel, we're doing it again here on NVIDIA. If it breaks higher, we'll give it back. But we just got out of half of the reload. So it is what it is. What's up, Miss A?
We're brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used in our desk by many of our traders every day. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description for 20% off.
Have we been directed?
I feel like Meta's getting.
First of all, yeah, we could. I just want to. What's up with universal codes here? Is your senior management, okay, so that would be basically us, short on Tesla or something? Have you been directed to put, I'm long on Tesla. Have I been directed to put any?
I'm long in my personal
miss
account.
the long hype on Tesla. No, so I mean, the market's done great today. We've talked about Tesla. I wanted to buy that 1.6, wow, up 7%. Well, hey.
I've said like 3 times I wanted the high of the day break on Tesla and a dip into 172 this afternoon. Just neither has happened.
The high of the day break? Oh yeah, right here. Okay, you might get it. So we might still get this.
It has to happen before 340. I don't like breaks too tight to the imbalances coming out. Because I usually think reversal plays at 350 are the way to go. So this has to break the high to give you a breakout in the next few minutes.
I am short
to make it worth it. Meta I was going to get to in a quick second. But Meta, they have this bad wick in here. So it was a high at 495. It's kind of trying to break out above 495 here. I'd like to see that make a fresh top. But again, you're running out of time for that to be the case. I'm only in 2 shorts. One of them is coming right back in here on Intel. I've moved the bid up into the mid 70s, and I'm going to drop the other one back down into the low 60s as that has been fading off of VWAP. Amazon I got back into off of 174.90, got some out 70s, going to get the rest out off of the low of the day. And then we'll see where that bad boy goes. Fisker is still not moving, but at this point, I'll probably just flat. I mean, obviously it's going to be a flat trade because it's still at 15 cents. But I'll probably take this again tomorrow if it looks like it's going to do the same flat bottom setup, breaking down off of the lows.
Oh, man. All right. The wife is starting to do a summer schedule with me here. So much hockey still in the summer. It's crazy. All right, here we go. $2 in the money. Fire off the hot dog cannon. There's not much else for us to do. I'm just going to wait. I just put a bid right here at 885. If we get to 885, that little bottom right there, we'll take another piece out. It's a completely reloaded position again here. So You know, I wish there was more for us to trade. What's up, Hampton's Trader? Hampton's Trader, is that real? The guy just won 15,000 points. That might be the most I've ever seen. Oh no, it's Streamlabs. So people are just winning back and forth here. Is that real? Because I know you can edit that, but good job, man, if that is true. Oh, Streamlabs said it. Okay.
I'm literally, I've lost like 15 times in a row on that.
Nice job. So now we'll go
16 times.
There you go. Neil just lost again. 500 more. Let's
Thanks,
go and see
Streamlabs.
who's in the highest points. Right now, has to be
Not me
Hampton's
anymore.
Trader.
I've been bleeding it.
That's for sure. Right there. Okay, everyone's getting killed now on that. All right, we'll figure out the points after, and who cares, really? All right, so there it is. NVIDIA, I have 7,000 points only. Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep logging in with different accounts. I have this one and another one. Man, that's loud in my ear. Okay, get rid of that. All right, let's see if NVIDIA can really come in. So we do have their conference. Jensen's going to hit the stage very, very soon at 4 o'clock. Sharif's going to be really, really wondering what clothing he's wearing for that one. So shout out to Sharif. How's it going, my guy over there? But we'll wait to hear about what Jensen's doing today and what he's wearing, because I'm sure that that's going to be not important for
Sue
not important for me, but definitely important for Sharif. Coming back in 889.50. Come on down. Let's go. Maybe we should just take $2 on this and worry about it afterwards. See, like, this is what I'm talking about. There's my other account. I got to log in as this account. 25,000 points. That's the one I need to log in as right now. But okay.
I need a burner account.
Yeah, we need a burner account for that one. All right, nice move in. Let's go, NVIDIA. Remember where we're bidding 885 and change. So let's go, man. Let's get to the downside right now as we get in. So here we go. Nice move to the downside for NVIDIA. Maybe we should just get out at 887. Nah, let's wait for 885 and see if we can get lower on this one. NVIDIA, hopefully to the basement right here as we await keynote speech.
Yeah, and guess what's rolling back over? Coin is coming right back into the downside. Bitcoin wicked the level as well, 38.5. But this just broke back down underneath 240. We're running, look, it's a little bit tight, but since it reclaimed that level, any pop back up into 240, I want to take one last shot at this. I am bearish in this name. Obviously, Mara did not break that high. That's the thing about a breakout trade. I don't have to take it if it doesn't break the level. Is this loaded now? No, it's not loaded. So it's tough to see, and trust me, VWAP was here. We shorted there, we stopped there, looking to short back under 340.
Oh my God.
Mara's not going to break out, so I'm going to already cancel that order. There you go, that's going to load up. I've canceled the order where I'm going long on a breakout of Mara. It never broke out that top. Maybe it has a chance to hold this at VWAP. But if anything, this feels like a flat bottom break this late in the day. Breaking 19.2 to the downside, I'd much rather be short back underneath that support level if I can. We're going to hold on to Amazon and Intel. I feel as if I have a better chance of the breakdown happening in Mara than getting a pop back in Coinbase. So look for 19.20 for a quick break on Mara that just turned red.
Yeah, what's up, Matt Carnes? Me too. Yeah, hearing Miss V saying Tesla's ripping. Nice little move right there. Look what we just got, man. I took 886. I'm not feeling any ways about it either. 886 right there. Nice take for me on NVIDIA. So there it is right there, man. Just came in. We got out at 886.11 for another $4. Like what we're doing right now, this is the most appropriate GIF of all time for what's happening on NVIDIA right now. Is just stacks on stacks. That's all we're trying to do, is we're just trying to put a little bit of money in our pocket here on NVIDIA and see if it will just fall in or not. I'm done reloading everything. We are done this trade. If it breaks 891, then fine. It doesn't even matter anymore if it does that. I mean, it does. We want to make money, but let's see if we do get this dip in. For the rest of the day, this is NVIDIA. It's been a good move, that's for sure. All right, so not much in as far as earnings are concerned. Let's check out on ARM today, another mover that we've been shorting into that sort of dump that SoftBank is supposedly wanting to do, but it doesn't look like SoftBank's doing anything right now. It's been kind of hovering around.
You know what's worked on ARM?
You know, nice move fading this 135, I think it's worked. But.
I have a new setup for ARM, and that is it breaks out in the morning, and then the first pullback under VWAP, short the very first, it's like the first time it gets under VWAP, just short into VWAP on that play. And that's been working almost every single time. So there's your breakout 2 days ago on Thursday. It broke VWAP there and was a short to the bottom. You do it the second time, it works as well. It doesn't break VWAP till late after the breakout in the morning. So there's your breakout in the morning. It goes underneath VWAP here, then you short it late. This morning, it was the same thing. I did have it, but I didn't get back into it, so there was no point going into it in the afternoon show. There's the breakout early in the day. To me, it has to break a top first. So it broke out. Once that happens, let it fail the breakout underneath VWAP and get it a couple times in there. Nobody's dumping any. SoftBank's not dumping shares. If SoftBank was dumping shares, this stock would be underneath $100. But that doesn't mean they won't at some point. So I tend to think I want to be looking for shorts, and at some point, the day the shoe drops, whether it's a flat bottom break or a short to pop or like a 100 even or a 110 or something along those lines, I just want to be ready if and when it does happen. Until then, you just look for easier setups. Back through 130 happened to be VWAP there. Still just holding on to Intel. That just printed 75s again. So let's continue to work off of VWAP. Once again, that is a level to look for. Watch Geek saying prediction for Alphabet tomorrow. Alphabet was frustrating today. I mean, you never want to see a stock give up gains on positive news. They got positive news, gapped it up, and really spent most of the day failing the 151 level. Going to end up closing green, 4.5%. That's a good sign. I like the fact that it eventually held this 147 area. I would, if it gets to 145, that was actually the buy that I liked a little bit better. So I'll probably be a long in front of 45 tomorrow on Google, but not the reaction I was looking to see for Alphabet after how good a bounce this has been. Like buying this off the 200 period was a gift, and then you get positive news, and then nothing, absolutely nothing today, other than selling off the open.
Yeah, nice move up. XLE, we heard some people talking about crude oil starting to go upside as well. So USO, you guys know that we've been well diversified into XLE here. As I thought energy, like we've been selling some, buying some XLE and stuff like that, but not a whole bunch. Anyways, we've been in this day forever. I haven't sold anything. Even last time we were up here, remember it was at 94 and I was giving Michael kind of a hard time and saying that we've already topped out there, and then this happened. Well, we bought more down here, so I feel like we should be getting some out. So let's get some out. We did get some out last time, but it wasn't until like 90, like we started to break down a little bit. So right now we'll stay in the energy trade. I really like the energy trade.
You know what's good
moving
news?
forward here? Energy and materials I really like.
XOM announced so after CVX lost that deal, XOM announced that they might not be stepping in themselves, and XOM still went up today.
Okay, yeah, XOM is a.
So they're not getting Permian Basin expansion potentially, and they're going to go up anyways. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I mean, if Randy's in this one, I'm in the other one. So it is. When I say the other one, I mean Chevron. They're both looking okay, but I feel as if load. My charts are like having a case of the Mondays today, which is fine. I guess they're just being a little bit tired. But Chevron has not been as strong as XOM now as it loads up. It's been good off the 140 level. I just feel like Exxon has had a little bit more oomph, and this bad boy can't seem to break 158. I'll say the same thing about Oxy because Warren Buffett's not buying enough Occidental to my liking. So, you know what? To be honest, I'm getting out of this. I was already going to get out of Oxy in front of 65. I might just get out of it soon, because I want to put that money somewhere else. Like I just bought it because it always bounces off 55, 56. So why doesn't it get to 65, 66? And now it's so slow. I'd just rather put that money somewhere that I can not think about it, which would be like either the future or like a dip buy, and whichever one of the Mag 7 gives me the first opportunity to. But I don't know. This has been taking some time.
No, this is just nothing. Adara said this to me, but it's pretty obvious. I did retweet it.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's just since 2024 here, options are already passing here 2024. Is already passing 2023. So you can see a nice little move upside right now. And again, a lot of that is 0-day expiry and things like that. I think that's included here. It's March and equity options volume is already at record highs. So again, you've seen a little bit of an increase in the last. And that's because of places like Robinhood and things like that that just made it cheaper, more affordable, and easier to do by an app, right? And so we've all seen those stories, but I just think that that's something important to understand, that as we get, and that's why we talk about the success of more volatile strategies recently, right? Because you are getting huge moves. When stocks start to move, people hop in there, pick up these options, and you can create some crazy movements due to delta, gamma chasing, and so on and so forth with a lot of these. So we're going to get Gunjan on to talk all about retail sales and whatnot coming through from the Wall Street Journal. So we'll work on that as we go. But here's NVIDIA, just bottomed out there at 884. We'll see if there's going to be a trade there. I don't know. DocuSign, when there's smoke, there's fire, but not right now. As DocuSign, this is the price I was in at, 58.05. So it's right there right now again. But it's 8:30. Okay, here comes NVIDIA. So I'm so glad, honestly. We have, what would you say? We had 25% out. We got out a half of that. So now I mean, the percentages and all that talk is kind of useless because we've gone in and out so many different times. But anyways, if we take 891, we're out, and I'm not reloading this anymore. So NVIDIA, man, we're free rolling with it. Hopefully it goes back up to the ups or to the downside. But for right now, a good couple outs, and really happy that we took that 886. So good out there. It bounces again off the 200 period. Maybe we get a flush, maybe we don't. As Jensen coming out very, very soon, man, 4 o'clock. We have 10 minutes. He'll come out with the black jacket. We'll see what happens there. And then a lot of market recap stuff happening. We have Michael Noss coming out as well to talk all about some marijuana names. That's what he told us this morning. So Tilray up 11%, but it's faded, right? All afternoon, I feel like. No, not really. Just made that trade at $2 and then back down. The bigger name, we only have 20 seconds though before the imbalances, was Aurora. That was moving around a little bit more. Yeah, still 17%. So
BGC had a huge move too.
Okay, so a couple names there that we'll talk to Michael about.
Yeah, there's plenty to watch. So for anyone
here we go
following along, obviously, the imbalances are coming in about 10 seconds. I've tightened up the stops in both Intel and Amazon. We're going to hang on through the close. 10 minutes, not just till the close, but till the monster event of NVIDIA's GTC conference. Wow, okay, Amazon must have come out of sell because I just got hit on the bid very quickly there. I thought I had already sorted this. I don't see it. Microsoft, 1.8 million to sell. Microsoft. Cisco's a 1.1 million to the sell side. Those are the two big ones. I mean, Penn, who cares? 900,000 to the sell side. I guess somebody cares about Penn.
Someone probably does.
But I'm not seeing Apple. I'm not seeing NVIDIA. AMD, 600,000 to sell. I'm not going to scan forever. Yeah, so it looks as if, Microsoft was the big one there, up at the top. I also saw Intel, but Intel always pairs off. 1.6 million to sell on Intel. It's always big and then pairs off. Oh, no, Apple wasn't there when I first came. Apple, 3 million to sell.
Yeah, it just got added.
Well, actually just maybe came in a little bit late. What is Apple doing? 50-cent drop-ish. No, sorry, more like a 25, 30-cent drop. So Amazon ended up working because the imbalance came out in my favor. Intel, it had a small one, but that's not really moving. I'm just going to get it all out here. Just get on the bid at 75, or I guess I'm on 74 there. Get on the bid at, let's go back to 74 if it's going to be on the bid. So we're just going to get out of that one. It was really Microsoft and Apple that came out with the big imbalances, and Apple's still falling. Up 1% on Apple. Apple and Google with that positive news this morning. And if you have the early break today, that was it. There was maybe a chance at a dip buy later, and since then, these stocks have been sells.
Despite being tired, join me in 5 minutes for the market recap show. We'll put down another 40 minutes of, trust me, it'll be a lot of energy, trust me. As we get ready to rock and roll, we'll talk about not too many names, as AMC does not report, but we'll have StoneCo. But look what's happening right now. This is how you get it back right now, by looking at the P&L. As here goes NVIDIA, nice move back down to the downside. 350 in the money now for NVIDIA on a small sell. 5.6 billion, Adara says. That was greater than
to the sell side? That's his biggest
That's greater than the sell side that happened on Rebalance Friday.
Go figure.
So there it is, a nice move down. Remember you said 6 billion, I said north of that, and we were both wrong. It was like 4.8, something like that. So nice move down. I'm gonna put a bid here at 884 again. And then honestly, if we get it, man, down there. So here it comes, nice move back in. We are really putting some damage here in the afternoon on NVIDIA. Like, man, that was a good one. Thank you so much, Jay Lee. There it is right there. Man, tweet this at me and I'll retweet you right there. Sean played NVIDIA like a fiddle today. Thank you so much for that. Definitely in the afternoon. I told you already, we could take credit for these plays all day because we're showing you guys these trades and they were great. But we were long early and you guys saw all this. So we messed up long in front of 900. But have the ability, we talk about this all the time, have the ability to change your opinion on a stock, right? If something starts trading a little different than you thought, make sure you flip it over. Thank you so much, Kevin Mendoza. Thank you so much for everything in the chat, right? So again, we're just here trying to put everything together for everybody, and more happy than not today, that is for sure. Come on, maybe NVIDIA's just 885. Let's just put an 885 bid. Honestly, if we can get out of this, I got to go run the show coming through. So if we could take 450 at the end right here and get out at 885.50, we will put that on the board and then just celebrate here as here it comes back in, because we don't need this dude to take the mic early and start talking blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, this thing rips up, which might be happening right in front of our face as we speak right now. At 8:55, we may get some more dancing here. So let's see what happens with NVIDIA. Should never be in something, as I heard Neil mention this too, and I say it all the time, as, oh, I thought we just got it there. Oh my God, we are 10 cents away from this another $4 winner. Just flush, just one more push down. Somebody hit market sell and we will get this. You don't have to hit anything because there it is right there. The money trade comes to an end right there with a $4 winner at the end of the day. Man, we put that on the board, Adara. What's up?
MSOS Cannabis ETF getting its largest volume candle of the day heading into close. We did have a lot of circulation of social media of potential rescheduling, and also some comments from U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris regarding urging the DEA to reschedule marijuana. So nice look for cannabis stocks heading into the end of the day. MSOS strong volume candle, guys.
All right.
Well, there's actually continuation in the crypto names. I think it's hilarious. We always joke about how it never happens, but it has today. Amazon went red. The NASDAQ is about to break the lows, but be up 1%. Wrap your head around that one. It's because we gapped up and then spent most of the day falling to the downside. So there's a bit of a flush. We already showed you guys what's going on with Apple. Meta is the standout today. Excusing this little, Meta didn't halt. I'm just missing some data on my chart. High of the day on Meta, up 2.5%.
Boom.
So as the market is weak-ish today, and especially at the end of the day, Meta basically said, okay, so the news is with Apple and Google. Who cares? Meta's going to set upside. Maybe we see a 500 tomorrow. I don't know. But I see something like this, and you always want to mark off what's relatively strong and what's relatively weak. And I think Meta has kind of shown us some surprise action today. I'm disappointed because I had one long in Meta on the way back in and then stopped trading it at noon. And if you just stuck with it at 492, but I couldn't figure out a reason it was up. And sometimes you get wrapped up with trying to logic something out as opposed to just saying, no, the stock's strong today. Who cares if it doesn't have a specific catalyst? You should just join and then go to the upside.
I hope we did. I hope we put on a masterclass of scalping there on NVIDIA during the afternoon. I mean, this is the whole reason why we do the show, right? So try to show you that there's possibilities, in all kinds of different trading. NVIDIA just flushed down to 883 right there, so that was good. I mean, we're just short. That, at the end of the day, as long as you're short, you printed. Where you got out is hopefully advantageous, especially if you're just holding, getting out right now with only 3 or 4 minutes to go. These are the trades, man. These are the trades that we're here for, and it's like good move. Too bad it was happening a little bit into the close here, but again, really well scalped there on the top side. Thank you so much about everything there. You stopped, what did I say about changing direction? Yeah, so what I was just saying there about NVIDIA was just that once we broke 900, we started to test it again, and then every time we tried to get that, we missed. Like the longs were just so hard to stay in. Eventually we had to flip it up. So we started switching our game up at 890. We see right here, 890, all these shorts, all these shorts, all these shorts. So we'll wind up, flushing down on NVIDIA because, really happy, obviously, with that trading at the end of the day. And I just want to thank everybody again for supporting the show and supporting all of us here as Netflix continues to run upside. There's lots of stuff happening. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on Instagram Shorts Live. You can find us on, it's Instagram Live. You can find us on YouTube. Where else, man? You can find us, I said Twitch, soon to be hopefully Rumble. Anything that basically has a live, satisfaction with it, we're there right now. So again, thank you so much, and we will talk to you very, very soon. Good day here. I'm gonna go over and get ready for the recap show, Neil. So good trading there.
And remember, that event is going to be live ongoing. So normally you wouldn't expect to see any price action on an Nvidia outside of earnings or some event, but I would suspect you were going to see big moves because of the lack of liquidity. Right? Like in the aftermarket, there's clearly going to be less liquidity, so every single word is going to get hung off of when Jensen, and when the event starts at 4 o'clock. Who knows exactly what's going to happen? But if you look at the range today, the stock had a $55 range on the day, top to bottom. So it could do a small fraction of that and still just go absolutely haywire. Like it did put in a $5 range here at the end of the day, but that is basically, it's actually tiny compared to what happened off the open and then the close. The reversal on this was nasty. I would say for sympathy plays, keep an eye on AMD because AMD never broke out at any point today and is also flushing. And any good news for NVIDIA could be bad in terms of competition for AMD, especially if the technology, again, they're already ahead in terms of AI technology. But if there's anything that widens that gap, I think that could be a little bit negative for AMD. So I would keep an eye on them. SMCI is a sympathy play because it's a high flyer in the space. But I think the two things you're going to want to watch are going to be AMD and NVIDIA, which is the big daddy up there. Meta is not a standout. You still forget Tesla. The only reason I said Meta, and we mentioned Tesla multiple times. I only said Meta because I was talking about like the Magnificent Six or whatever the heck they're calling them now because they keep dropping Tesla out of it. Tesla had a great day today as well, and I acknowledged I had the price and direction right at 172 on Tesla, but the execution plan wasn't that good. I'm going to possibly ring the bell myself. Actually, no, it's okay. There we go. No, it's fine. Don't, Derry, you're at the desk. It's okay. So there's the bell. Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good, man. I actually, one time I did that when we had the bell hanging off of that stage, and I basically jumped and did like the Thor's hammer with it, and that was a heck of a lot of fun. So I enjoy ringing the bell. Like I have no issues doing that. So we had some fun there. Shout out to everyone that enjoyed the show. The NASDAQ might have ended by breaking the low of the day, but it actually ends up 0.9% in the ES, up 0.5%. The event has started, so let's not dilly too long. Thank you to Fabian and Ramin, as always, on the ones and twos, doing a fantastic job. You were learning today about pullbacks, like buying pullbacks in volatile markets, which I think is fantastic because you want to be with the trend. So shout out to Adara and Sharif doing a great job as always, and Brendan kicking butt with the afternoon interview. I mean, we had Daniel Shea on, then we had Michael Noss, who's joining tonight with Sean on NVIDIA Day, where they change the world, or maybe change the world, at the BTC event, which is starting live right about now. There's a few names in terms of earnings, but everyone's eyes and ears are locked and loaded to see what's going to come out of NVIDIA. So without further ado, you know who I am, you know where you're going to the desk. It's a market recap show and the NVIDIA event. Strap in.
All right, guys, traders stay late. This is the market recap show. Thank you so much, and what a bang-up day it was for us again today, man, on a lot of fronts. We will be going over the sector recap here. We do have Michael Noss coming through again later on today, and I just want to thank everybody for the continued support, man. I mean, we have over 4,000 going to join us here, and then you'll hold on, and we'll go until 4:30, okay? So we'll sit here, we'll talk till 4:30, we'll go over some recaps, we'll talk about some cannabis names, because really, cannabis has been on fire as of late, and I want to thank everybody for staying late with us right now, man. There it is right here. What's up, Kevin Mendoza? What's up to everybody? We will have a quick look at NVIDIA when they come through. We have it in our ears still. Anything important discussed right there on NVIDIA, but wow, what a day it was for us on NVIDIA as well. We will talk about that when we do the recap. But you know what? The recap's not a thing unless we take a drink. So you guys ready for Hydration Nation? I guess I should put that probably on my board so I don't force these guys to get it, but here we go. Let's go, Hydration Nation. They quick with it. Yo, what's up, Future Eddie? Yeah, if you guys have the NVIDIA feed, you can find a spot to put that on. I could care less if you guys can find that. Let's throw it on right there, because you know what? We do what the people want. There's nobody, who am I going to ask? Myself, hey self, you want to put on the NVIDIA conference? Yeah, so there it is. So we'll get that up right now. Thank you so much for the talk there in the chat. I want to say a big shout out to Bears versus Bulls and everybody coming through today as well. All right, it looks like, hey, what's up? Now you got two of me, guys. That's not bad, unless you're, not blind. You don't want two of me, that's for sure. Okay, here we go. What do you want to talk about here today? XLC. Right now, communication services upside today. We had a nice move, of course, with Meta. We talked about that at the end of the day. A nice move with Google. Back up to the upside, two constituents of this XLC. But it was really the QQQs today that kind of led the way. The NASDAQ, again, you see a nice push right now. So maybe NVIDIA is coming out right now. Yo, shout out to Bears versus Bulls as well. We do have STNE that's out right now. Look at Stone. Maybe it's out right now. STNE pushing back down into the downside. STNE, StoneCo coming back in right now into 1650. As soon as I get those reports, I will bring them to you ASAP. So I have the news feed right here from Benzinga. As soon as it comes out, we got it. I do have, oh, here it is, National Cinema today. So it's not AMC, it's somebody else. National Cinemedia. We talked about that today. I don't know why they have AMC written on here for that, but right now, Stone is out, but I do not see, oh no, MDGL, you're seeing it live right here. Proposed public offering, NEPA, we do not like that, MDGL. There it is. Nice move down in, but they've done really well. So I'm not too worried about it, but there's a share offering on MDGL happening right in front of our face. So again, I have to wait for Benzinga. I'm not going to report anything that I don't see on there. There's too many Twitter people reporting out fake numbers and stuff like that. We're not going to do that here on the closing show. So what's up right now? Thank you so much, Hans. It's never too much to have too many Seans. Well, don't tell that to my wife. She might want to have -1 right now. Thank you so much to Racer. Thank you so much to everybody, man. Today was a hell of a day because of this. At the end of the day, we nailed NVIDIA a bunch of times, man. I'm taking this from people in the chat. This masterclass of this shorting in here, 890s back into 885. Take $4 or $5 as much as you can there. As we'll wait. Here we go. Is he up? Is Mr. Jensen Huang up on the stage right now? Starting to move around a little bit here. 885, I just hear that it is a yes answer to that. So we'll wait out for NVIDIA. I think it's going to be a nothing burger. There it is right there. If Sharif was here, he'd be looking and saying, hey, what jacket is he wearing? But it is that black leather jacket. So there it is right now. Big shout out to everybody obsessed for some reason with Jensen Huang and that coat. So there it is, stone cold to the downside. I don't have any more earnings plays for you. Did we ever find out what's up with Roblox? Roblox, a nice move in today, down 8%. I feel like this is a level. You know what? Hey, Mr. Nos, I know he's watching because I can see him right now. I know we're going to talk about some cannabis names, but maybe as a guy that's not too, he actually said this today, not looking too much at macro news, but what about Roblox? I like this name back into where we are right now. We are actually waiting for something like this. We have not bought Roblox recently. This could be a buy, Roblox. So I wouldn't mind getting Michael's opinion on Roblox if and when. So I do have NVIDIA in my ear. So I don't have what they're talking about, but I have Benzinga in my ear. If anything happens with NVIDIA, we will get that to you ASAP. So on a minute chart, and by the way, we have Michael Nos coming through, but what I'm using is trade ideas. We have Trader TV 20. You can get that immediately. It's going to be Michael Nos talking about some cannabis names when we come through. And I want to say a big thanks to Michael Nos. Look what we have up here. All this information. So he's listening to the traders, man. Whatever is appropriate, we can get here on Trade Ideas, Trader TV 20. Go get it right now. But anyways, there's NVIDIA. We'll watch out for that. Looks like it's going upside right now. 890. Here we go. What's up, Jensen? Here we go. This is the move that we're talking about. A nice move back up into 890, 891. All right. We talked a little bit about nat gas and oil and all that today. Look at this nice move up for USO. It really started pumping, man. We really like gas in the, energy. Shouldn't say nat gas because we don't like UNG. Your hair's getting too long, man. I think you got to Got to cut some of that there, my guy Fabian. I'm just jealous. Yeah, donate it, glue it onto my head. I'll take that all day. But there we go, United States Oil Fund. If we're going to look at a daily chart, look at it breaking out, man. I like USO here, and I really like XLE. Me and my friend Michael Noss again went back about XLE, and I remember talking about this top right there. We're getting back to a nice top here on XLE. So I like this. We will be trimming some in and around $94, $95 as it comes back up to the top. That is XLE starting to go. All right, I'm getting too much news in my ear, and it's not really that viable about anything that we're doing right now. We did have Google to the upside today. This sort of helped lift the NASDAQ early and really kept it going, honestly, as we get going into 150. Nice day for Google, but not a great, fantastic fall down. I mean, it came into the close. We'll look tomorrow at 148. We traded Google. I mean, we liked it today. It was one of the #1 names there on the sticky note. Let me actually put this back to a 3-minute chart. I'm seeing NVIDIA starting to go here. Nice little move up. We just touched 894 upside there for NVIDIA. Now, I will find out on Benzinga. If there's any news about NVIDIA, try to scream in the chat, and I'll try to do my best to get a hold of it, as I do have the chat coming through right now. So we'll wait to see. I think NVIDIA goes. I mean, there's no way. This is a big conference for them. They've been hyping it up on their Twitter. They've been hyping it up on their website. Obviously, we'll hear about the next idea that Jensen has, what some of the applications for some of these chips are. Where's the new chip coming in at? Is it going to be north of 40 grand? If it is that too high, or is that just about right? We'll have Jensen. There's nothing happening. If there's anything, we will come to that. So I want to give a big shout out to anybody here. And see what I'm saying? And this is the problem with what people are saying. Asif right here. NVIDIA will drop. Odyssey, NVIDIA to the moon. I mean, someone's going to be right, or is it going to be a non-event and we just hang out? I think NVIDIA is maybe a little overdone to the upside. What's red today? Okay, real estate. You know, if we're not going to lower the rates, then I can see real estate being in trouble for a minute. Lennar was down on earnings. Maybe home builders also coming back in. Again, we get the Fed later on this week, and we did hear about it. Hydration Nation. It's 99% chance that the Fed does nothing. So if the Fed does nothing, I feel like, and again, another one that we've talked about Michael with, I feel like TAN gets hit lower. You know, when you're talking about high, expensive units like solar units are, whether or not you're a corporation or an individual household, when you got that car note to pay or a mortgage to pay or something like that, you're probably not, oh, wow, I almost nailed this to the downside. See what I talk, I can't get stock talk out of my head. If I almost nailed this to the downside, was my mic falling down, that would have been a problem. But anyways, TAN right there. If this breaks 40 to the downside, watch out for TAN. Although up today, I feel like this is going to be in trouble. Watch out for some dip buy opportunities, maybe down near 40, and we'll see if we can respect that level. XLE was down today, so services, but look how high up it's been lately. FXI, a couple bad numbers. We saw Li Auto to the downside on XPeng. XPeng talking about giving a $14,000 car. That's not going to happen. I feel like there's going to be tariffs applied to this. No matter who your president is come in November, I don't think the China story is over with by any stretch of the imagination. So I look to pick up some more FXI if we drop in. But what about XPEV down here near $8? Again, XPeng today upside, but we must have faded at the end of the day. Yeah, because we are down near $10. Nice, or 1040, sorry. Now down near 980 to the end of the day. Sharice's favorite automotive name, Li Auto, got cranked today on that news. So a nice move down for Li Auto today as well. TLT, the Treasury, trying to hold out. Again, on the daily, I'd rather buy down here. We've seen blood in the streets before. Let's wait to see if those rates kind of jump back upside there. And of course, these rates bottom out when the equity market also bottoms out. So we'll find out. Again, maybe get some TLT in your life down here near $82. But for me, I'm going to stay away. I don't really buy anything fixed income. I don't know. And again, not financial advice, but with my age being around low 30s, I feel like you want to buy some growth names. No, look, it doesn't really matter how old you are. It's how you feel, right, Ramin? For sure. All right. I like asking younger people this, you know. It makes me feel better. But no, and if you don't have kids, I mean, that might be a reason right there to have some. You know what's been a hot minute has been GLD. Man, gold continues to win. Bang. And again, Michael Nosh is going to have to owe me something. I mean, how many times am I going to drop this guy's name? But this is another one that we've talked about on our show a couple of times. Oh, I flipped it the wrong one. Here's GLD. So the daily chart still trying to break out. This looks really nice also. Sorry, oops, the wrong one there. Looks really nice on the weekly chart. We've had some nice breakouts in GLD as well. Look at this. There's a smiley face going all the way back upside. Starting to take some stuff out. I feel like you want to hold gold until you get back below at least this 193 area here on the weekly chart. So maybe have some dip buy opportunities coming through here for GLD. If he's ready, I am, because we're not getting too much out here. Did we get, hold on, before I go over to Michael quickly, I'm just going to call this back to a daily chart because I want to look at StoneCo for a second, because they did come out with earnings here this afternoon. I'm hitting flip it over. Am I on both daily charts here? Where's my other one? There it is over here. Yeah, oh, they're both daily charts, so I got to flip one of them over to a minute chart and see what's happening with StoneCo. So again, a nice move down to 1650, then up to 18. This is why I'm very hesitant to say Stone is out, because unless I see something honestly on Benzinga Pro, that I'm not going to report anything. So right now, STNE, I'm going to Google it. I mean, I'm sorry, going to search it. See what I mean? Like, I'm already talking about Googling it when it's on Benzinga Pro's platform. So here it is right now, are imminent. So I don't see anything out for STNE yet. So we'll hold out on that one. And I know he's ready, so let's call him. It's Michael Noss, it's Trader Talk. Hey, Michael, I know you don't get too fooled by earnings because I know you don't trade single stock events really, but has that ever happened to you? And I think it's happening right now on Stone, where we drop down like 10%, then rate up 10% and kind of last in the middle. I wonder if those are fat fingers.
Usually, well, not anymore. I think back maybe when we started trading, that was a lot of fat finger action. Now I think it's algos that are, you know, one reads the top line and the other one reads the bottom line, and then they have a little fight and see what happens.
Is that your real backyard, by the way? Or you've imposed like a, is that a green screen with a camera of your backyard or what? Because that looks crisp, man. Great view.
Yes, it's both. That is my backyard, and it's a green screen. So I guess if you want like a good title for this, you could write like a Michael Noss exposed or something on your YouTube account.
No. I didn't mean to do that at all. I just think it looks fantastic, and it should, because some days
it's the front yard.
Wow, man, congratulations. That's a great property over there. All right, I see you have Stone up. Any thoughts on this before maybe whether or not we're breaking out or not? Any opinions here on STNE?
Yeah, well, I was just, bringing this up because you were talking about when I was in the green room there, and it's a nice looking chart. We have what could be a nice rounded bottom here and a potential cup and handle. So I know nothing about this company at all, so I'd have to look into it somewhat. But I like these charts. It kind of fits with what I was talking about with you guys this morning about the phase one accumulation phase, maybe going into a phase two uptrend. That could be what's going on here. But as you mentioned, they just reported earnings. So this would be something that I'm going to add to my watch list and see what happens tomorrow.
All right, quickly, Michael, we got a question from somebody in the chat, and I know you're down for this, so I'm going to go to it immediately. All right here from Joe Schmo. Can we get Mr. Noss to look at Deer, D-E, and they want to know if this is still considered a smiley face, your opinions on Deer. So we'll let Michael load this up. Stay here with me for a second, because I just want to say I've missed this now not once, but twice. I've waited for this 350 level to come into play. We did get hit back in, Michael, one more time, and I did not pick up anything down here. That's a miss for me on John Deere. Maybe some of these viewers are looking for it. We've taken the 50. We're bouncing up to the 200. What say you here on DE?
Personally, I don't see anything quite yet until we break one way or the other. So the way I look at this is you have a big, strong up move from 100 to about 400, and then you just have this mess that's going on right here. And unless you're going to do, I think what Sean was talking about there, where you're looking for support levels to buy against, for me personally as a trend trader, I need to see a breakout of that range and some sort of continuation to get excited. about John Deere here. But generally speaking, these ranges, these congestion areas will resolve in the direction of the trend, which on John Deere is higher. So it's a nice looking chart. I just don't see anything in it for me right now.
Yeah, John Deere, Caterpillar, some of those industrials start to get going. Caterpillar is much, much cleaner to the break side. Just real quick right now, so we do have NVIDIA. Come over to my screen quickly if you can. Jensen, I guess, people saying in the chat he doesn't look that impressive today. Those must be bears talking like that. But there it is, man. I mean, and again, we talk about this all the time on the show, Michael, and that is trading events. Like, it's tough. If you're waiting for him to say something, maybe you go long on a break and then something cracks, you're all the way down to 877. And then just for some of you looking, this is what it looks like right now on a live level 2. This is the same platform that we use throughout the day. This is Prosper Pro, and you get $2.50 range right now. And what we show is the level 1 up here. That's where even 100 share lots are, either on one of the gateways that are printing. But again, a lot of volatility dries up here. Maybe, Michael, I mean, maybe we could talk about this, and this is why we have you on, because traders stay late, and we're looking for some information here on NVIDIA. For me, I actually said, and I'll give it back to you in a second, I honestly, you see this little gap right here that I think that we had from 680 up to 755? I actually wonder on their last earnings report, are we looking to get into that gap and potentially fill it? I don't think it's too outlandish to get that. We've had some pretty serious pullbacks now, not recently in NVIDIA, but we can fill this gap back down 25% into past earnings. Am I insane to think that?
No, NVIDIA is stretched on every single metric you can talk about. And at the very least, at some point, the rate of change needs to slow down or halt. It doesn't mean it needs to crash back down, but we're talking a $2.2 trillion company right now that's going at this clip. It can't keep going like this forever, or eventually it's going to be bigger than Apple. It's going to be bigger than every company in the world.
Right.
And, it's just so at some point it has to slow down. It doesn't have to crash, but it has to slow down. So that's why when I've been coming to you guys, I've been talking a lot about I'm looking for what's next, because my worry on something like NVIDIA is that it's a very common holding in mutual funds and ETFs. But when these rebalance, which they have to, right? If you're a hedge fund manager and you had 5% of your holdings in NVIDIA, and now that's 30% of your holdings of your fund, you have to sell that and to get into something else, because nobody's going to pay you your performance fee and your performance fee and your management fee just to hold 30% of NVIDIA. So when that happens, I think you're going to see at some point a rotation into other sectors and other names.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. I think that's an absolutely rock star point. I mean, look what's happening to NVIDIA right now. We are getting clobbered. I mean, we're getting back to where we were at 1 o'clock, down to 875. We'll see what's happening with NVIDIA. And this is why, Mr. Noss, why we don't report news when we don't have it, because it's out. So we're going to go breaking news right now and slap a fail on STNE, because here come the results. They're out right now. Fourth quarter fiscal 23 results coming out for STNE. That's the report here. So 132% year over year, 20% adjusted net income. But we are falling down. I'm going to wait for Benzinga to sort of summarize it right now. So I don't have exact numbers, but there's the move. Apparently it's out. Nice downside move. We'll wait for Benzinga to come with the truth on this one, but it's a nice move down for STNE. Okay, we talked about this earlier. Cannabis names. We did have a nice breakout today. Aurora started going up 16 or so percent. Tilray started going as well today, up another 11%. We keep talking about MSOS. You said you dig under the hood a little bit. So what do you have for us in the marijuana space?
Yeah, so for those who missed it this morning, before the market opened, I was talking about how this cannabis sector and this move looked interesting from a couple different time frames, not just chasing the news, because again, I never know the news, but that this breakout, especially from a weekly chart standpoint, it was the same kind of looked that we were looking at STNE, where we had this big rounded bottom and then a potential breakout. And I was looking to see if maybe we could even get to 20. I would be a very happy man. And then we had a great continuation today. So I spent the time, and basically the layout that you see, this is something really cool we can do at Trade Ideas.
Cool.
All of these scans that you see me use right now are pointed to the cannabis space. I basically told Trade Ideas, hey, I want to build a layout and I want to watch all day what's going on. Problem is, there's a lot of junky names in the cannabis space, and it's a sector that I'm new to. It's not a sector that I trade in very often. So I did find some names, but I have to say a lot of these names still look really bad. And I think a lot of it is because there's many of these names that are still on the pink sheets, or they're still traded over the counter. And I think that's a regulatory thing that may get cleared up, but it makes the charts look a little bit ugly. But a couple of names that I did look at, if you're looking for a smaller company, this High Tide Inc. looked very interesting to me because this was actually up and holding really strong against, this $2 level. It kind of looks like the overall cannabis sector, but I like that this one had about a 5% short float, which again, for these junky stocks is pretty high, and holding against this high area. But the idea that I had as it started to come through these scanners was actually just MO. So Altria Group, or
Okay,
I think,
yep.
yeah, Altria Group at some point. They do tobacco manufacturing, but I think they're in the space now, so they may be doing some farming related to the cannabis plant as well. And that to me is showing really, really strong. And now we're out of the junky kind of, this is a $79 billion market cap company. So I'm not worried about it going away overnight. So for me, I think personally, I'm either going to look at these more established names that could benefit from the sector, or just the ETF itself is really what I landed on.
So to each their own here, and I don't know what your answer is going to be. Some people will be like, you know what, I don't believe in cannabis, or, like I'm a pure, I don't, alcohol, we have some kind of stuff like that. There are missed opportunities often in that. As a CMT, I guess, like you said, you're just looking at price action, right? So
Right.
Is that something that goes through your head or not? I mean, for me, it doesn't, but I don't know if there's something there. I don't know.
No, the way I look at it is that my job in the market is to make money, and that's
Right.
it. It's not to be right. It's not to hold an opinion. It's not to propagate opinion or politics or anything like that. If I want to complain about that stuff, I'll go to the pub and have a beer with a friend. So my job is
Yes.
to look solely at the price action and solely at the charts. So this idea came from looking at my Trade Ideas platform, and I think it's up there again today, where MSOS was the best performing sector.
Yep.
So from there, I want to look under the hood. I really sometimes think it'd be an interesting experience or experiment where I took the names of the companies off my chart and I simply
Right.
traded solely based off the chart. I would bet I'd have about the same results or maybe even a little better.
Yeah, probably. I hate having some of those biases that are in there. But okay, so that's a little bit of talk right there. We've asked some people in the chat if they've had any questions. We got John Deere. We've talked about NVIDIA. I mean, we could come over to my screen right now, look at NVIDIA a little bit. For me, a trade would be right now, and I'm just going to say this. So Stone Cold Steve Austin, by the way. Yeah, hey, what's up to that? StoneCo's out. You probably watch wrestling. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But right there, revenue was a miss. So this is what I'm seeing right now. I wonder about this. Look at this title. Jensen Huang, GTC keynote, live on stage at the SAP Center San Jose, titled, Don't miss this transformative moment in AI. You know what, Michael? When I hear people talk like that, I think that's the top. I mean, don't miss the transformative moment. It's like you came, actually, shout out to you. You came the other day with that magazine cover. And I really think that the more we start to roll out different things, it's kind of like cannabis. Like, oh, look how great this tastes or something. That might be the top. And it's just, I get that feeling here. Bitcoin touched 73 so much over and over again. And if the guy in the middle of our screen right now, Jensen, can't convince people that we have more to come, then maybe we do see a top here in some of this, AI space, specifically NVIDIA. You talked about the froth that's in this name, but do you really believe in that? Some of those talk about, what was it, Forbes, that bull on the cover there, or Wall Street Journal. We get very carried away with headlines. Maybe we are at the top with names like this.
Yeah, so the idea for those who missed that with the magazine cover indicator is essentially by the time the Economist or Forbes or the New Yorker, one of these, giant magazines or paper comes out with a cover that says, okay, the bull run is on,
Yeah.
or this one had, I think, bull horns poking through
Breaking
their
through.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to go through everyone had to already have noticed that it was a bull run, and then it had to go through someone to write it, and it had to go through editors, and it had to go through publishers, and by the time the magazine comes out, it could have been a month, 2 or 3 since that started. In this case, we're a year and a half into the bull market, so I never would take a trade based off of those, but
Right.
one thing that one of my mentors told me is that you always see articles like that at the top and you never see them at the bottom. You'll never see the Economist
Right.
saying, oh, it's a bull market anywhere near the bottom. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the top. But yeah, again, they'll never see stuff like that in the bottom.
All right, we got a nice move down here in Stone. So I want you to call it up one more time, because you know what we're doing? We're just bouncing right here. I have the weekly up, and again, I'm using also come to my screen. I'm also using the Trade Ideas platform. So we're just right now, like that 50 period, and again, I don't really look at 50 periods on the weekly, but it kind of just held that 1431. If we flip this over, the bottom right here, that's the daily chart. Let me put this over to a 1-minute chart quickly. We just got down into and held basically, Michael, that 1425 with on the weekly. I mean, that's the daily, but on the weekly, that looks fantastic down there for a hold. So we just held that bottom again. Is this a trade that's maybe interesting you now more, that we see the release and now we're bouncing in and around here? Where do you finally maybe step in on a name like this? Down 11% and looks like it's bouncing off a possible support level here.
Yeah, so for me, I'm looking at, I brought this up, I'm looking at about $16 a share right here on this STNE. That's just this prior low that happened a couple weeks ago here. So if we trade below that and then rally above it, it means there's some sort of buy program or institutional trader or something that was waiting for a dip to buy that. I also anchored a VWAP from the all-time lows, and those are always easy ones to draw in to see if we're going to hold as support there. That's sitting around 14 or 1560 or so there as well. So for a trend play or a snapback play, you would want to see that break, and then you'd want to see buy programs and heavy-handed buyers come in. So for me, what I would like to see on a name like this, because I did like that weekly chart, is if it can close tomorrow, and I'm a close-to-close trader, so I'm always focused on the closing price, above $16 a share, I think that's a place that you could take a shot. And then your stop would probably go under the low of all of the post-market action that we're seeing right now.
Okay, Mr. Nas, we'll double check that with you back on Friday. Well, you'll be back on the first show with us in and around 8:45. Thank you so much for coming through. You stayed late with us. It's past 4:30. Say hi to the family for me in a lovely property. That's Mr. Michael Nas. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. See you Friday.
Ciao, that's Trader Dog. I did forget to mention, you can go find Michael on Twitter. It was all at the bottom there. Just go rewind at Michael Nas CMT, also on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming out one more time. And you know what, man? We're staying a little bit late, so let's do a little roll call, because I know there's some people in the chat that want to see what's going on with the roll call. But before we do that, quickly, NVIDIA, just want to see what's going on right now. Does the Emperor have close? It looks like today they do. He's holding out pretty good, man. 885 right now. Just the funny thing is, he took the stage at 4 o'clock. We thought there would be, hey, what's going on right there? So he has, one different size there. Yeah, he does look like he's wondering where this pop in stock is right now. Okay, we get it. You're holding up two chips. One smaller than the other. Now, I don't know. I have no idea what he's saying. We'll pay attention to that. But what the charts are saying, thanks Ramin for that, is that we're right where we closed. So, I mean, we closed here at 885. We're right at 885. You can see the price right now. So a nice move up, nice move down just to land in the middle. So we'll find out what's up with that. But who's here with me? Shout out to Bears versus Bulls, man. Shout out to Chips and Dip. What's up, Pillsbury? Yeah, Chips and Dip. Hey, I like the sour cream dip myself. I haven't had dip in a long time. What's up? Go Pack Go. You're damn right about that one. I think we have a chance this year to at least, although the NFC, Our division, the NFC North, getting a little more spicy there. Let's see what the Bears do, man. They've locked their pick in, I think, with Caleb at number 1 after trading Justin Fields. All right, what's up, Hugh? You're not getting me to say it, but what's up, Hugh? He's here. What's up to Hurt Scrambler, Jalen Hurts? What's up to the Hayes Records, Benton C? Dewey's here, man. What's up? Yeah, okay, that's the chip that we're looking for, Hopper. Thank you so much, Jay Lee. We're looking for the price. We're looking for what kind of energy it takes. Hopper chip, good one. Thank you so much. Henry Chung is in there as well. Michael Ordonez, Igor's here, Jeremy's here, Sebastian is here. Watch, wish, and wash. Okay, good one. I like that one. Everybody's here, so shout out to that, and we'll go bang on that. You know what? We can't do this without looking quickly at our, oh no, that's not my Twitter. Okay, quickly, here it is right now. We're going to call up Twitter and just go over the sticky note. Oh, thanks for someone said this. If it bleeds, we can kill it. So thank you so much for that one on NVIDIA. I did want to talk about this. Some tweets that were pretty important today. I actually just tweeted this out. We've already broken 2023 option volume. It's mid-March. Pause for dramatic effect. Probably didn't work there. Okay, all right, now let's go back. Anyways, here it is right now. Shout out to whoever did this. What am I have some chewing tobacco in my cheek right there? But a big shout out here as me, Brendan, and Neil. Hey, you think we're running stuff now? We're running it back in the day as well. So shout out to that. Thanks to Fabian and Ramin for that. And then here we go. Here's the sticky note. We marked down watch NVIDIA. Man, did we nail that one. Bang out on NVIDIA. I want to thank everybody that's watching. We're not done yet. Over 2,400 of you. Micron long was wrong. Google long was right. Apple was right as well. Fisker wrong. Fisker didn't do anything today. But look what we did on NVIDIA. The reason why I want to talk about this is because it's very important to me because I was able to do something that I've really learned to do in the last little while, and that was flip up the game. You don't need to be married to an idea. Change your opinion. It's not going to cost you 50% of everything you own. You don't have to divorce the stock. You just need to flip it over. So what we did right there, we went long early off 900, right? Nice dip in. That was wrong. So as soon as we felt like that was wrong, we let it settle down. Then we let it come in. We did pretty good. We didn't get back in this till 11 o'clock where we went long off 900. The minute that was wrong, look, we got hit, and then we were down, I think it was $400 or $500. We don't normally talk about P&L, but trust me, for others, that would be huge. For me, it's kind of a drop. Well, we don't talk about P&L. But then we started to short again, and we got it all back, baby. We went short off of 890, and again, boom to the downside. We're making it back. Little bit of a fail early. We brought it back on NVIDIA. Thank you so much for watching. Stay true to who you are. Whether or not you're Michael Noss, just watching price action, whether or not you want to do sort of like what we do, combine some catalysts with the price action, stay true to who you are. I give a big thank to my girl over there. Thank you so much, Ramin, for staying late. And thank you to everybody. I'm Sean Katina. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully my voice will be back at 8:30 in the morning at Trader TV Live.